Good day to you all, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for joining us on Sim Broadcast here on Twitch.tv for the fifth and final round of the 2025 season of Master Race Car E-Challenge. I am joined in the booth today by Tom Jones. He's finally returned, and Peter Butcher will be there in the background as well. S1DUS Ring today instead of the Sao Paulo circuit. Tom, welcome back.
Thank you, Travis. It's good to be back. It is a series that I have unfortunately missed the entirety of the first 4 rounds, but happy to actually make it here for the 5th and final one, and glad to have a bit of banter in the commentary box with yourself and Pete for this closing of this fantastic series.
More than anything else, I look forward to the Bants. Smaller grid this season, but big excitement. I think you'll have a lot of fun with us here today, Tom. There you can see the track configuration today, not running the Sao Paulo circuit, instead going at the S1DUS Ring, a well-known layout in the LFS community. 12 turns, attack zone outside turn 3. Very long pit lane here. Drivers will need to use that in qualifying if they want to abort a qualifying lap. And in the background, we cannot see this on stream yet, but we've got a race control message. Tom, light rain, track declared wet.
Yeah, heavy rain started, then it went to light rain, and now we have a wet track. Always a bit of fun, and I believe, if I remember correctly, we have special wet tyres to simulate that. So, going to be good fun watching the drivers. I don't know how much practice they've done in preparation for this, so going to be interesting to see how they handle it, Travis.
Yeah, I would say there's hardly anything special about them. They're road tires, and they are crap. They offer absolutely no grip at all whatsoever. So we should have a bit of a charade in the open qualifying session. Just going off the screen, we saw the car configuration. We'll remind everybody 2 different car configurations. One with all-wheel drive, used during the qualifying and sprint in duels. A little bit of extra power. The rear-wheel drive car with regenerative braking, used in the feature race. The qualifying session, I believe, has opened in the background. I see 12 minutes, just under 12 minutes on the clock. The clock is winding down, so we have cars going out on track now. Adam Brown appears to be on the grid, so we've got Adam today. Haven't seen him before the season yet. And I also see I see a rescue car flying down pit lane as well. We'll look for cars on circuit in just a moment.
Yeah, I was going to say that looks more like a rescue car than Adam Brown. I know he's quite a quick driver, but I do believe he is actually in the in the Formula E car today.
Yeah, I mixed up the messages I was getting in the background while we wait for cars to actually go out on circuit. That was Adam entering pit lane, not actually going out on track. We'll look at the championship standings. Gabber has a stranglehold on the top spot. Will almost certainly be champion at the end of the day today unless he falters and badly. Carlos Machiotis has second place, not quite tied up. Still a tight race there with Cyril Bisset and Timo Sarkkinen. Any one of those gentlemen could take the second spot behind Gabber. And then further down, 5th down to 10th. Not much to play for in these positions. Agostinho da Silva will do no better than 5th in the championship unless something terrible happens to Timu. I believe Timu's in the server today. And there you can see 6th down to 10th, Ronan Kronpush, Imran Azar, Stephen Martin, Daniel Orlov, Nico Patola. Tom, the story of this season, apart from Gabber's domination, is Imran Azar's absence. So strong early on, and I'm sure you'll recall from seasons past just how good he is in these cars, but only participated in 1, maybe 2 weekends and has tumbled down the point standing. Will not be reprising his championship effort from last year.
Yeah, I remember last year he was very, very up there, really, wasn't he? He was always a safe bet for into the end of the qualifying duels. You'd always expect him to be one of those really vying for that final duel with the pole, and then always a hot contender for race wins. So quite surprised. It's unfortunate for him not being able to attend for the races to challenge for the championship. Really has just allowed Gabber to run away with it a little bit. So, but interesting to see who's going to pick up that second position overall today as well.
Yep, again, could be anyone. The numbers have gone off the screen now, but I believe it was 5 or 6 points separating 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place. So all to play for in second position in the championship. Still waiting for cars to come out on track. I think everybody's a bit afraid of the rain, and there we go. Mika Sarkkinen, first one out across the exit line right now, and we will get to see in just a moment how treacherous this track is. We get the onboard view, the VR perspective from Mika Sarkkinen, and there in his inlay, we can see the camera pointed back at him in his rig. Brilliant shot from Mika I'm going to say my favorite of all the drivers who share their own perspectives. Mika has a really cool one. You can see the driver's eye view looking left and right in VR. I'll call out. I know this is Pete's favorite feature. Maybe we can get Pete to jump in and get a word here while Mika's on a warm up lap. This feature of LFS with VR, the mirrors, the perspective in the mirrors. Pete, you want to share an opinion while we're waiting for Mika to come around to start flying a lap?
Yeah, I made a video 7 years ago commenting on the 3D VR mirrors in LFS. They're brilliant, and they're the best mirrors in sim racing. I'm not sure what other insight you want there, Travis, other than that they're magnificent.
Yeah, I just know you get very excited about
I
them.
do.
Mika Sarkkinen about halfway around the lap now. I believe he's coming through turn. Is this turn 10? No, not yet. This is turn 9 right now. Tight, almost a hairpin corner on his way down to turn 10 shortly. And then he'll pass the weather commit line, which is right before turn 11, and then come around to turn 12 in just a moment. And we'll see how treacherous this is. Making pretty good work of it, except there, Tom, lots of wheel spin and just kisses the wall. I think he'll be able to continue.
Yeah, I think that's going to be almost a bit of a theme with these tires. Derek Seed struggling to get the power down. Really, the car not enjoying these tires and got too much power for the grip that they provide. Really, so a bit of a compromised entry onto his flying lap now. So it's going to be interesting to see how he's able to hold it together. If he's got well, I would say if he's got the car up to temperature, but it doesn't really matter because they're just tires that struggle with the grip. And he's able to get the car down, turned in for turn 1, but still running a bit wide and overcommitting a little bit there for turn 2, brushing the wall narrowly and just keeping it back. But able to get it stopped, but it's just not turning in for turn 3 at all. Look at that, Travis, just purely ploughing on the understeer.
Yeah, it's he's got difficulty with grip at both ends. He turns the wheel and the car just doesn't want to grip at all, and he finally gets the car slowed down enough for the front to grip, and then the rear of the car wants to come loose with any amount of power. Long run here. He'll go through the turn 5 kink, which he is taking. Oh, he was almost flat and just had to lift at the last moment to keep the car from getting away. Coasting nicely through turn 6. A nice bonk on the wall there. Tighter turn 7. Very, very tricky with these tires. But apart from a few mistakes and a few a few brushes with the wall, another one there. So far, reasonably clean. Not much grip and a pedestrian lap, to say the least. But he is through turn 9 safely and mostly clean on his way down to turn 10 now. And probably another 20 seconds or so. We'll see what the benchmark is for a wet qualifying lap. Very tricky, as you said, Tom. In these conditions with this car, extra power, all-wheel drive helps a little bit with the balance of grip, but the extra pull at the front only exacerbates the understeer on turn in. So here we go, through the final corner, out wide over the concrete, and across the start-finish line. A minute 36.14 is the benchmark. Provisional pole position, or I should say provisional first position, going into duels for Mika Sarkkinen as we watch Gabber now coming through on a flying lap.
Yeah, I think he's actually on his out lap, Travis. So either that or he's going to have a pretty rough run here to the line. But let's see how he's able to do it. You see, Ronnie Krompos has already gone faster than Sarkkinen did. So let's see. I believe Gamma, yeah, he is on the out lap now. So come flying on down into turn 1, braking really early just by the 200 board. But and still running a bit wide as well. It just keeps it before the wall and then gets it turned ready for turn 2, and then the tight hairpin of 3. Really a lot more under control, I would say. Less flicky round, but and we do know he is a quick driver. He knows how to drive these cars, and so I would assume this is going to really be the benchmark time to beat, unless he makes any mistakes here, Travis.
Yeah, he's patient into all of these corners. Mika was really trying to push the car in really hard and carrying a lot of understeer. Gabber rolling out of the throttle and then coasting here into turn 6 before he lines up turn 7. I think he carried more speed through the corner because he throttled up after, whereas Mika was off the throttle on the exit. I misjudged whether, well, I called it a flying lap. I certainly misjudged that. Definitely an out lap. He went flying by traffic as though it was a flying lap, so that confused me. Now through turn 9, still so little grip. The car just does not want to turn in, and even with the power at both ends, makes it very challenging. Nice and smooth, easy on the throttle through turn 10, and now so slow. This has to feel like the corner drags on forever for Gabber through turn 11. On the throttle, now coasting, rolling out. lots and lots of slip in the car, that fully sideways, probably 5 to 6 degrees off the direction he's actually turning, and across the line. Now Gabber well quicker than everyone else, but Nico Pantola goes across the line just behind him, another 7/10 quicker. So Gabber up almost 2 seconds on Adam Brown in third, immediately pipped by Nico just behind.
Yeah, Nico always been a quick driver and showing he is no slouch here again today. I believe it is. You only get 2 laps if I remember correctly here. So really, just one more opportunity to improve here. It's going to be interesting. Nico, a driver, always with some pace, and he's put into Carlos Montoyotis has gone fastest there, another 10th faster than Nico. So it really is opening up at the front here with these wet tires.
Yeah, and these drivers appear to be carrying on additional flying laps. Gabber is on a flying lap ahead of Carolus. Carolus nearly a full second quicker than him, but Gabber not slowing down on this lap. So he's going to take his 2 flying laps without going into pit lane. I don't think Nico took 2 flying laps, and he telepitted, so that might draw the attention of JP. Oh, Gabber coming through turn 9. Way too much speed on the way in. Couldn't get the car to turn in, hard into the wall. That will cost him a lot of time on the way out of turn 9 and through turn 10. He looked quick through the earlier part of the lap, but the grip is so low and the speeds are so far down on what we saw in open practice that really hard to judge if Gabber will improve here or not. But owing to that mistake, I'm skeptical that he will. We'll find out in just a moment. About a second away from the start-finish line through now. Gabber improves to 31.85. How much quicker could he have gone if he had not botched turn 9? Blistering pace from Gabber. Now on provisional pole, or rather first going into the duels with Carlos Montoyotis in second and Nico Pantola in third.
Yeah, of course. This just sorting out the order really for the duels, deciding who's going to be in what position. Always probably best to get at the front there. And Carlos Montoyotis is flying and then suddenly disappeared from the track.
Yeah, he telepitted from the circuit. We'll remind everyone, if drivers want to abort a lap, they are supposed to drive through pit lane. So Carolus and Nico, neither of them have done that. Though Nico Pantola is coming back out of the pits, it's possible I have misunderstood the purpose of the rules. We'll check for clarification in the background. Looking at Ronnie Kronpush now, who was quickest a few minutes ago, now very near the bottom in 10th, just ahead of Mika Sarkinen, who took the first attempt out on circuit and now dead last of the 11 drivers who have taken laps. Roney fully sideways through the turn 5 kink, and the car wanted to get away from him and now has not quite gotten away from him. That's not fast, but it looks really good. I'm delighted that we've gotten the camera here on Roney, putting on a show for us on an outlap, trying to get some heat in those tires. Well, I hesitate to say he's trying to get heat in those tires, or maybe he is. This looks deliberate, Tom. I thought perhaps that was a mistake, the car getting away from him, just trying to get around on an outlap, but this appears to be tactical.
No, looks a bit too controlled sliding for it to be on a hot lap for me. Basically, moving
controlled.
over.
We're playing fast and loose with the definition of controlled. I think that was hardly under control.
It wasn't on its roof, so it's yeah. But obviously, Adam Brown now on an actual lap now, coming to the finish, coming round the final corner, keeping a bit more speed. Timo Sarkinen has actually gone provisional pole there with 31.59, steaming it away from Gabber. And Adam Brown there has topped it again, taking the top spot. Gabber with a strong time has now had nearly half a second taken off him by Adam. And there's still some drivers left to go who we know have some speed in them as well, Travis.
Yeah, I'm watching Nico Pantola, and we've got Nico Pantola on stream. I believe he is just now starting a flying lap. There he is across the start-finish line. Nico Pantola approaching turn 1 now, hard on the brakes, just past the 200-meter board. Through the corner, nice and tidy so far. Stays well clear of the wall on exit. Carries a lot of speed there through turn 2. Somehow manages to get the car slowed down and stuck. Nicely done through the hairpin. No handbrake. We're accustomed to seeing the E-Challenge drivers using the handbrake to get the car around the corner when it's really tricky. But Nico choosing not to. Nice wide late entry here into turn 4, clean all the way out to the wall. And we'll see what Nico does for the turn 5 kink. He'll certainly lift. He has to. No, Nico chooses wide open through the apex and then hard on the brakes to get the car slowed down for turn 6, which he does. Wheel spin on exit, now approaching the tighter turn 7. Slightly later apex. Nico appears, at least by looks on board, to have the measure of this car. coast through turn 8 now, hard on the brakes, just touches the wall, but that helps slow the car down. A little bit wide of the apex here, and lots of wheel spin on the exit. Nico Patola really trying to hustle this machine, even though it doesn't want to comply. Approaching turn 10 now, jabs the brakes so late and so hard on the brakes. Late turn in, very clean through turn 10, all the way down to the wall. Through 11 now, the corner that goes on interminably. Nice exit, power down beautifully, and we wait to see how he handles turn 12. It comes across the finish line. You can see the understeer, now the oversteer, the correction, four-wheel drift all the way out to the wall. Nico putting on a show, may or may not be quickest. It is minute 31.25. 2/10 clear of Adam Brown. Tom, all of these drivers putting on a show for us today.
Yeah, we said there was a few drivers still in contention for going into a top spot, and there is 5 drivers, just over half a second between first and fifth. So we're going to have some fantastic duels coming up here towards the end. A couple of drivers still left to finish off their flying laps. I believe Jeff and Jacob on screen here is one of those. We're coming through the middle sector almost.
Stephen Martin was on a lap too, I think. Yeah, Stephen Martin is on a lap too. He's coming through we'll pick him up at turn 9, Tom.
There we go, turn 9, the tight left, starting to come out onto the back. Sorry, I'm not overly familiar with the track, so I might get a little bit lost here. But I think he's already done 2 laps, but...
yeah, I'm not sure, through turn 10 here in 11, so he's near the end of the lap, but it looks like he's coasting through.
Yeah, I thought I'd seen him on track for a fair while. Yeah, there we go, into the pit lane he goes as well.
Cyril Basset out, but also coasting, so not going to put down any more laps. And I think you're right, Tom. That is it for everybody. So brilliant show in the open qualifying session to choose the 8 drivers of 12 for the duels. Nico Pantola comes across the line after time expires with a minute 31.25 ahead of Adam Brown, 2/10 behind him. Timu Sarkkinen in third, Carlos Matiotis in fourth, and Gabber, who looked like he was well on fire, setting quick laps earlier in the session, down to 5th position. He'll be one of the later duels rather than the P1 duel. When we get to dual qualifying, 6th, Daniel Orlov, Cyril Basset in 7th, and Todd Gonzalez rounds out the top 8. Mika Sarkkinen, Jeff and Jacob, Roni Kronpush, and Stephen Martin will start 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th in the sprint after we conclude dual qualifying. There we go, Tom. As I said at the top, smaller grids, but still a ton of excitement. That was a lot. We have even more in store in duels and then in the sprint race.
Yeah, always a very exciting session here with E-Challenge. Always has been from the start. And yeah, very, very good to watch the 5 real close at the top there, with Daniel Orlov just sort of missing out on the sort of striking distance into the top 6, but will be, top 5, sorry, but will be in the duels, of course. So there's a good number of drivers who, once again, it doesn't matter if you're the fastest or the slowest in this session here. As long as you're in that top 8, you have a chance to get through to fight for the pole.
Agree. Absolutely true. Thank you, Tom. There we can see the E-Challenge, the duel lineup. Nico Patola, first position, will duel against Todd Gonzalez. Then we will have Carlos Matiotis and Gabber. The championship contenders. Carlos has a big gap to close and a gap to defend on the drivers behind him, but not out of reach yet. Dueling Gabber in the second round. Timo Sarkkinen will go against Daniel Orlov in the third of the quarterfinal duels, and finally Adam Brown, second position in open qualifying, will duel against Cyril Basset. And then we will have the first and second round winners against, the first and second round winners against each other, followed by the third and fourth round winners, and then after that we will crown a champion of dual qualifying to take pole position in the sprint race. Once again, the circuit, the S1DUS Ring today, 12 turns. Great circuit. I think this is an especially good street circuit. One of my favorite layouts. All of the real life circuits exceptional, but this one designed to be a great racetrack. To me, it has elements of Abu Dhabi, of Bahrain, the last corner in Barcelona. A little bit of everything here on this track. 12 turns, attack zone outside of turn 3. And there you can see the schedule for today. Open qualifying already done. Duels coming up in just a moment. We will have a 10-lap sprint race followed by a 20-lap feature. And we'll remind everybody that the top 10 in the sprint race, the top 10 finishers in the sprint race, will be reversed to set the grid for the feature race. Tom, have we missed anything? We have the cars. Here we go. Again, in the sprint race and in duels, drivers will enjoy all-wheel drive and no regenerative braking. for the feature race in order to make the distance and conserve energy. Regenerative braking, rear wheel drive only, no additional power delivered to the front wheels. There, I think we've got it all. Tom, thoughts going into duels?
Yeah, I think we do have it this time. I think it's Jules. We're going to have, I think off the top of my head, 7 races coming up, 7 very close attempts, and we're going to see definitely who's ready to scrap it out one final time of the season here to get this pole position sorted. My money, if I'm a betting man.
Ooh, yeah, I got to interject here. We've missed this all season. Bold predictions by Tom Jones.
I'm going to go a little bit of out the left field here. I reckon Carlos Montoya is a hot take for pole here, I reckon.
Careless has been very good this season. I don't think that's a hot take nor a bold prediction. I think that's a reasonable pick. Cars coming out on track now, lined up in pit lane, so we should see them on circuit in just a moment. Track is wet. There is no rain, so we may see a bit of luck for some drivers. Good luck for some, bad luck for others. Hopefully. Yeah, I guess we'll see. Hopefully the weather does not catch anyone out. Changing conditions during duels would certainly throw the drivers off a little bit. They're accustomed to driving on these low grip road tires, making the switch in the middle of a qualifying session when they've got heads down concentrating to set the fastest laps they can. Could play into how these drivers actually perform in duels. There we see Nico lined up at the end of pit lane. Todd Gonzalez behind him, waiting for the signal from race control. And we will take off in just a moment's time.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to have to worry too much for this first duel about the changing tyres. But I think the thing we've got to think about is after these drivers do their first sessions, if the changes from the wet to dry, then we could see people making mistakes, especially in the later sessions. In the semis and the final runs is where we might see the pressure slip in if the track gets dry in time. So that is where we're going to be seeing the excitement.
Todd Gonzalez, the aggressive four-wheel drift tire warming technique, as we look ahead to Nico Patola, taking a more, let's say, a Kimi Raikkonen-esque approach to the outlap. No drama, no theatrics, no weaving, no sliding, just driving a casual lap on cold tires. Scrubbing the front tires a little bit. Oh, now we get a good drift from Nico. Maybe he's watching the stream and he's woken up. Looking back to Todd Gonzalez, definitely a more aggressive approach to warming the tires than Nico has done. Though Nico has, though I think Nico has become a little bit more exuberant as he comes around for the later part of the lap. Brilliant livery here on Todd Gonzalez's car, all black MRC with the I'm going to call them iridescent because I think that's how they're supposed to look. We don't get shaders in LFS that would really accentuate it, but brilliant paint job on that car. Nico Patola approaching turn 10 now and will be through turn 11 and then on his way out of turn 12 to begin the first round of duels, his flying lap. Again, Nico Patola first position out of open qualifying. He comes through turn 12 now. Well, middle of turn 12 now. Here we go on the exit, on the throttle. Nice and clean on the power, no drama at all. And down to turn 1, Tom.
Yeah, getting all the way up to 278 kilometers now. So these cars definitely gotten a lot quicker overall, nearly pushing the high 180, 190 mile an hour there. Keeping it very smooth and flowing through those first couple of corners, getting the car turned in very well, a lot better than we were seeing people struggling to do in the practice and qualifying earlier. Strong exit, not much wheel spin at all, very controlled measures from Nico. Quite used to seeing this from him, if we're honest. Slightly late and missed the turning, but slide driving out of turn 4, but was able to keep it out of the wall, but probably going to hinder him a little bit on the time. Absolutely flat through the fast kink of 5 and then coming off and then getting on the brakes afterwards. Early onto the throttle through turn 6, a huge slide again, all the way out to the wall, not hitting anything, but he's missed. He's gone deep into 7, missed the braking zone and clipped the wall slightly. It's going to hamper him, but it all comes down to really is who's going to hold the car better, hold their nerve better between himself and Todd Gonzalez. Sorry. Travis, any news from him?
Yeah, second down on Nico Patola through split 1. Nico's just gone through split 2, minute 3.27. Though he's had a few sketchy corners. Nico Patola through turn 10 now, waiting for Tom Gonzalez to get through split 2. We'll see just how far apart they are. Nico on his way to turn 10 now. He's cleanly through 11, and Todd may have made a mistake further back. Nope, he certainly didn't. Just a long lap. Still, he's made up a little bit of time, but still about a second down on Nico Patola, who is crossing the line now for a minute 32.34, so a full second off his open qualifying time. But still on track to be well ahead of Todd Gonzalez. This is not a bad lap from Todd by any stretch. It's been pretty clean, but just a little bit down every corner on Nico Patola. Down the front stretch now, under the gantry, the time will be minute 34.07, so lost a lot of time in the third sector. Todd Gonzalez will be relegated to maybe 8th position. But he does lose to Nico Patola in the first duel. Next cars out on track now, rolling off is, I believe it is Adam Brown and Carolus Machiotis and Gabber out on track. Carolus out there first, Gabber behind him. So we'll look to see. So far, the show has been exciting qualifying laps one after another. In the tire warming technique, Tom, and we can see that Carolus has gone full send on the tire warming.
Yeah, it's like watching some sort of a Japanese drifting competition, really, isn't it? A lot of hard turning, and then they'll give it a bit of kick, pull a handbrake, and we'll have them sliding and linking corners together. I feel like we should be scoring them at this point. I mean, look at that. There we go.
Yeah, all electric VTEC from Carolus Machiotis.
Yeah, just stick it in, change the camera. That beautiful camera transition from Pete, and just catching him, just swapping the car's ends back and forward. I think those rear tyres might be getting a bit over hot, to be fair. They've been absolutely rinsed around those last few corners, so he's might struggle a little bit, might want to cool the tyres down. Of course, he'll have a better idea of what their temperature is than I do. Travis, your final thoughts on this pairing on this duel here?
Well, either of them could take this. Sorry, I'm stuttering while observing that Gabber has crashed into the wall a couple times. Oh, Gabber's into the wall out of turn 11, so he's going to be well down on speed coming through turn 12. Though understeer through the corner, he might just exit at optimal speed. We will see how badly that impacts Gabber. Carolus Machiotis through the first corner now, on his way through turn 2. And down to turn 3, another onboard shot from Carolus. We have 3 drivers today, 3 drivers at least, providing us onboard shots. Carolus is one. The Sarkinen brothers, we do have 4, both Sarkinens and Gabber. So Mika, Timu, Gabber, and Carolus Machiotis all providing onboards for us. We thank them for that because it does add a nice element to the broadcast, a nice touch having the driver's view there next to their car on screen. Carolus a bit wide of the wall there in turn 5, but looked nice and clean. Behind him, Gabber is all over the walls, all over the circuit. Does not look to be, I was about to say not quick at all, but he's only 2/10 down on Carolus Machiotis. Carolus coming through turn, this is Gabber, who is coming down to turn 7 now, while Carolus is already through. Gabber, the front of that car, he's hammered the wall somewhere.
Yeah, that was on the outlap. He hit the wall a couple of times, but he just doesn't quite look the comfortable Gabber that I'm used to seeing. You see there, he's 4.5 tenths off Carlos Machiotis, which is, I know there's a whole sector to go, and this man has pulled out some ridiculous things before, but I think he's made a few too many mistakes early on as he is coming now to the line, setting a very impressive 132.1, so laying down a bit of a benchmark for Gabber. Gabber's a huge slide, losing loads of time out the final corner, and I just can't see how he's going to be able to get anywhere near that, and he can't. As his cross line there is a 132.9.
Yeah, Carolus was perfect through the final corner, all the way down to the wall, no sliding, no wheel spin, and Gabber looked like he was struggling with grip at both ends of the car on the way out of the final corner, through all of the third sector, really. As we look at one of our on-board providers, Timo Sarkinen, again with the aggressive tire warming technique, lots of lock on the way into the corner and tons of oversteer and wheel spin on the way out, doing the go-kart weave on the way down to turn 5, trying to put temperature into these tires. Sorry, turn 4. He'll be on the way to turn 5 in just a moment. Timo Sarkinen now against Daniel Orlov, the final of the quarterfinal duels, the last of the final of the final. The last of the quarterfinal duels will be Adam Brown on Cyril Basset. After this duel concludes, Timo Sarkinen fully sideways, using just about all of the steering lock that car has to give through turn 7. And this, I'm just, I'm skeptical, though I don't race the E-Challenge cars, and I certainly haven't done it on these awful tires. But dabbling in sim racing myself and racing go-karts on the weekend, I'm a little bit skeptical that it makes that much difference putting all that temperature in the surface of the tire, but not heating not getting the pressure up heating the inside. But maybe there's something here we don't know, Tom.
Yeah, I'll be honest. As you say, I've never driven these cars, so I could not say. I've never even driven them on these tires. From how they're driving, I'd be surprised if these were if there's any tread left on these tires by the time they got round to the start finish line. But here we go. Timo Sarkkinen starting his flying lap here, all the way down to the first corner, getting on the brakes well, getting the car slowed. Is it going to slow by enough and turning in? Yes. Very under control there, maybe a little too controlled, but definitely the neatest we've had through those first couple corners. Very much in control, getting the car turned and pivoted nicely for turn 3 and giving himself a clean opportunity to get back on the power going out the corner. So good to see there as well, and he seems very much under control. I'm seeing on my other screen Daniel Orlov a little bit less controlled, so it's seeming so far positive in the Sarkkinen camp for this first sector here, Travis.
Yeah, 34.33 is a good split one time, though he is wide here on his way through turn 6, on his way down to turn 7. Now, as you said, first part of the lap looked so neat and tidy, didn't look all that quick. Everyone before him has been really pitching the car around and working hard to get grip. Slightly more relaxed approach from Timo Sarkkinen, which is good for 7 tenths on Daniel Orlov. So it may or may not be quicker than drivers in other duels, but he certainly has the measure of Daniel Orlov. Daniel Orlov on his way down to turn 9 now, as Timo Sarkkinen is on his way around to the end of the lap. This appears to be turn 11. It is pit entrance on the right. Timo Sarkkinen beautifully off turn 11. See how he negotiates turn 12 all the way down to the wall. No wheel spin of any kind. Kind of a late exit, but that will help with the wheel spin on the way out of the corner over the line. And Timo Sarkkinen, minute 32.29. So Carlos Macchioides quickest with 32.1 makes no difference to Timo Sarkkinen. He's second quick, and that was a completely undramatic lap. So steady wins the race for Timo Sarkkinen, well positioned and well ahead of Daniel Orlov in their duel. Very nicely done from Timo.
Yeah, it was very, very good. It was always quiet. Would be the term I'd use for it. It was uneventful. He got the job done. He just very professional almost. But here we see
peak finish driving.
It's like the interviews. Yes, we went out there. I drove the car. It was very good. But here we see Adam Brown in the lovely Sim Broadcast liveried vehicle. Minorly biased on how it looks, I will say, almost Apple-esque. Love that.
I think since Adam is a friend of ours and he's in our colors, I think we can take a minute to throw some criticism at this car. Where are the stickers? It's obviously Sim Broadcast, but it's only the stripes. What is this low effort livery from Adam?
Something about being a student and not having time or something. I don't know.
I suppose that's it.
Yeah, we'll go with that one. There you go. He's got a number on his rear wing fin thing, and on the nose. That's about it, I think. And something on his halo.
Yeah, I guess he's trying to. Oh, it is on the halo. You can see it there on the halo. Nice shot from Pete to capture that on the way out of the corner, looking right over his shoulder. So no stickers on the car, but Adam is putting on one of the better tire warming performances. Nice drift on the way into the corner and clean on the way. Oh, he went a little bit too wide. Yeah, that's going to compromise him through turn 12, Tom. He's on his way down through the corner now. No dramatics or theatrics on the way out, so nice and clean off the exit. Should carry plenty of speed down to turn 1. Great helicopter shot across the line. Adam Brown begins a flying lap. Tom, take him through the first part of the lap.
Yeah, on the brakes well, getting himself slowed down for the first turn. Once again, another tight line, just like we saw from Sarkkinen just a moment ago, but a little bit more wild through turn 2, but able to get the car, I would say slowed, but he's gone all the way out as if he's doing the attack boost, which isn't the way to do this, Adam. Getting the car rotated though well on the throttle, laying down a little bit of rubber, not the fastest way to do it, but definitely able to get the car around. There we see the Sim Broadcast logo. You know, we've got the colours and now we've got the badge there as well for you all to see. Absolutely flat out. 34.46, one of the slower first sectors we've seen so far, but it's going to have to do. He's going to have to hope for the best and try and just tidy up the rest. Very, very clean there through turn 6, sorry. And then absolutely overshot turn 7, though, which is not ideal, especially with Cyril Basset being quicker through the first sector, Travis.
Yeah, Cyril Basset looking really good. A little bit of oversteer here, but he gets the car back under control through turn 6. Nice and slow through turn 7. Adam was very wide here. Cyril Basset's lap looking a bit more like Timo Särkänen's lap than anyone else around him. Very, very cautious, very careful through turn 8. Nice and tight down to, oh, you can't get the car slowed down just enough for turn 9. We'll look ahead to Adam Brown to see how he's getting on through turn 11 and 12. And then back to Cyril Basset. Adam on the brakes, just quick jab of the brakes or a lift of the throttle into turn 12. Nice and clean off the exit, though, fighting wheel spin all the way through. Through the second split, they're still very tight. Adam Brown, 32.87, well off the pace of Carlos Machiotis, looking for Cyril Basset to get through the final corner now. Beautifully done. Late apex, late exit. Cyril Basset not fighting the car at all on the way out of turn 12. And across the line, minute 32.78, a tenth quicker. Cyril Basset, 7th position in the open qualifying, takes down Adam Brown, who was the second quickest qualifier.
Yeah, Adam just made a couple very messy little mistakes there, which ultimately cost him very dearly, with Cyril Basset just able to put a lap in good enough for not less than a tenth of a second faster, but more than enough to get the job done, really. So there we go. The semi-final finalists you have in semi-final 1, we're going to have Nico Pantola versus Carlos Monteoitis, and semi-final 2, we're having Timo Särkänen versus Cyril Basset. So the only one out of the four fastest to lose their initial duel was Adam, allowing Cyril Basset to progress through.
Yeah, the Cyril Basset just took the last duel away from the left column. Now, does this cement your favorite for the duels? Is it Carlos Machiotis all the way for you, Tom, or are you as impressed as I am with what you see from Timo Särkänen?
I think, I don't want to write off Timo Särkänen, but I generally think the winner of this first semi-finals will be the pole sitter. I just think while Nico is very quick, Carlos Montoya is very quick, and Timo Särkänen is also very quick. They're all very quick, but I just have a feeling this first semi-final, just for me, I feel will be a little bit faster, and we're going to see the faster of the two come out from this one.
And what I've taken away from this is disparagement by omission. No, nothing said about Cyril Basset there, who was good in his duel. Maybe not quite as quick as Carlos at the top of the first round of duels, but lurking there, and has put on some impressive performances for us in the past. But we wait for the first of the semifinal duels to begin now. We should see Nico Pantola and Carlos Machiotis lining up at the end of pit lane. Ooh, and there we go, Tom. There's the call. No rain, dry track. So the conditions have changed. Drivers will need to adjust a lot more grip now with all of this extra power. They have somewhat less to tame in the tires, but now I think a bit more of a challenge to fully maximize their pace on faster equipment.
Yeah, both drivers rejoin the queue now after doing the swap with the tyres. So both onto the dry tyre. I see Nico Pantola now pulling away from the pit lane, getting ready to start his warm-up lap. And then we'll have Carlos Montoya just joining him on track shortly. And yeah, not that I have anything against Cyril Basset. He's quick, but he's just not quite there with what the other guys. I think he was about a second and a half off the top 5. In the open qualifying, so I just think it's a bit of a barrier margin for him to climb to close in on the guys ahead, but very possibly because of course they did the practice on the wets, it very well could be a totally different case on the dries.
This is Tom Jones apologizing without actually apologizing as we watch Nico Pantola go through turn 5 on the brakes for turn 6. That looks so much less dramatic and so much less terrifying on these tires. You can just hold the throttle all the way through that corner and then jab the brakes for turn 6. Still plenty of wheel spin even with the grippier tires on the way out of turn 8, and a bit of sliding. Still want to get some heat in on his way through turn 9. Big slide wide of the apex. We look for Carlos Machiotis to do the same thing. Nice onboard shot once again And Careless not doing the big slides. Careless just taking a nice and easy approach to his warm-up lap. Chooses to weave a little bit on the way down to turn 10. But Nico Patola, ahead of Careless Magiotis, is on his way into turn 12 now. Rolling out of the throttle, bit wide of the wall, and wheel spin in the middle and on the exit of the corner. But doesn't look too bad. Nico Patola under the gantry now to begin his flying lap in the first of the semifinal duels. Jumps on the brake at the 150 board. Nice and tight down to the barrier. Just misses it. A little bit wide of the wall on the exit. Sets him up nicely for turn 2. And now we see how he negotiates the hairpin attack zone on the outside for the sprint and final races. Very nicely done through the hairpin and on the way to turn 4 for Nico Patola, Tom.
Yeah, very, very quick there. And I was making a note, not apologising, simply explaining. But yeah, Nico using all of the rope available to him and really pushing hard. Really crazy to see the differences in the amount of track you can use, how late you can get on the brakes in comparison to the different tyre types. But a huge slide there from Nico, able to keep the car pointing the right direction, but generally going to lose a little bit of time doing that because you're not really using the energy in the direction you want to be going, and it's just a lot of speed scrubbing without control. Missing the apex again. That's 3 in a row he's missed the apex for. So concerned for Nico Patola. He was very quick. He was 2.5 tenths faster through the first split. Kerr's now coming to the second split, and he's still 2 tenths away. Using ignore everything I'm saying. It's clearly Nico knows what he's doing, and it's working well for him as he comes through turn 12 now. Oh, huge twitch in the final corner. Able to maintain a gentle brush against the wall, but able to keep this run to the line to put in a 1:23.4. Now, I have no idea if that's really quick or not because I don't know what the dry times are, but we're going to see to the line now. Casper Julius takes it. Huge swing in that final sector. He was able to pull back 6 tenths of a second to jump him completely, as Carlos Montoya is your first into the overall pole finals.
Frankly, I am astonished that Nico Patola was faster through the first 2 sectors because he was wide of several apexes. Careless Magiotis looked clean, but I guess Careless not carrying as much speed through the optimal line. And Nico, despite making a few mistakes, was still way up on time. And then Careless got it all right in the final sector, able to take the top spot and go into the dual final from Nico Patola. Now watching Timo Sarkkinen, just as measured and just as undramatic as he was in his first round qualifier, wide of the apex there in turn 5. So I noticed here, and Timo's done the same thing that Nico did. They carry a lot of speed into that kink. Carlos Magiotis was slower through the kink. He started to relax on the throttle before he had gotten all the way out of the corner, and then was on the brakes well in time to get the car slowed down for turn 6. Timo Sarkkinen, Nico Patola taking a much more aggressive line through that corner. We'll see how it plays out on their flying lap. Timo Sarkkinen coming up to turn 10 now. We'll be starting his in just a moment. Behind him, not too far behind, Cyril Basset approaching turn 9. Either of these drivers, I think, could go through. Tom, your favorite, obviously still Timo Sarkkinen, who is crossing the line now to begin his flying lap. Take him away.
Yeah, Timo now flying down towards turn 1, hitting the lofty heights of 285 kilometers an hour before getting hard on the brakes, turning in well, absolutely kissing the apex perfectly there, and getting the car then pivoted back round, using all the track and then getting back around. Is he going to, has he run out of room? He's got himself up enough room there for a late apex through turn 3 and push it all the way back down now. This longer straight with a bit of a kink on it before we get to the tight left of turn 4. Gets it down early on the throttle again, maybe a little bit too early after brushing the wall there, and a 30.86. I think that's pretty quick through the first sector there, keeping it slightly wider through the kink of 5, and then getting it not turned in time, really 4.6, brushing the wall, then able to get the car stopped and turned.
Behind him,
quicker.
Yeah, Cyril Basset quicker. Both of them have been so clean, like just the car changing direction beautifully. Neither of them fighting the car, but Cyril Basset 2 tenths quicker than Timo Sarkkinen, who is through turn 9 now on his way down to turn 10. Watching Cyril Basset come through the turn 8 kink and then jump on the brakes for turn 9. Timo Sarkkinen 56.46 through split 2. We wait to see what Cyril Basset can do. 55.9, half a second quicker than Timo Sarkkinen. Timo Sarkkinen on his way through turn 12 now. He needs a lot of speed and perhaps most of a miracle if he's going to get ahead of Cyril Basset and into the dual final. Timo Sarkkinen across the line now, minute 22.82. So quickest so far in the semifinals. We watched Cyril Basset, lots of wheel spin on the exit, kisses the wall. Will it be enough?
A 22 flat. Look at that. He's on a quest. He's on a quest to make me eat my hat, I think, after my prediction. That is absolutely incredible from Cyril Basset. Really just taking the horns of this. The swap onto the dry tyres has favoured him wonderfully, and he is through to the finals. He's guaranteed now to be starting on the front row. It's just all about who's going to be on that pole position slot.
So, Tom, here's your chance to double down or refine your predictions. Carlos Matriotis, Cyril Basset, the dual finalists. Cyril Basset, a full second quicker in the semifinals. Still no rain, dry track going into the final duel. Waiting for cars to join the circuit in just a moment. And it certainly looks like Cyril Basset has the measure of everyone else. So quick in the dry conditions. But both of them, let's call it some reconnaissance, a little bit of time there. Carlos Matriotis able to get away with his semifinal duel over Nico Pantola. He's learned a few things. He knows how the car is responding. He knows the track. He knows the tire. He knows that now there is a 16-kilometer crosswind from left to right on the front straight, so that will help the cars get out of the final corner. That will slow them down on the way in, a little bit more downforce, and blow them toward the inside. So that explains the easier lines we've been seeing through turn 12. But again, Tom, Carolus, your favorite, but Cyril has looked so good.
Yeah, I'm not going to change my prediction, but I'm more than happy to be proven wrong. I stick with my initial thoughts, and but look, we've got the two red drivers here. It's going to be a good one to see how this goes. I think it could go either way. Honestly, this isn't just the semi-finals. This is the one that decides. This is the one that really matters, and of course, there is more pressure on both drivers to perform as a result of that. So as we see, both drivers have now pulled away from the pit line, and they are both onto their warm-up laps. Travis.
Indeed, yes, motorsports driver Carlos Matriotis out on circuit first. We don't judge the outlaps too harshly, but I think he looked very clean through turn 3 there. If he can repeat that on his flying lap, that will certainly improve his chances, his prospects of taking pole position. Carlos on his way through turn 5 now. We'll see if he changes his line, his approach here. He does not full throttle all the way through, gets the car nice and tight down to turn 6. So Carlos on his outlap looking pretty good, trying to make the most of the time that he has on track before the lap really matters. Look back behind to Cyril Basset, who should be through turn 6 now. And there he is. Yep, Cyril Basset now through turn 7 on his way down to turn 9. So Cyril Basset appears to be getting on nicely as he approaches turn 9 now. Nice and wide through there. That appeared to have been, maybe that wasn't deliberate, but manages to slow the car down without striking anything, damaging the car. Carlos Matriotis should be coming through the final corner now. We will pick him up. There he is for the beginning of his flying lap out of the final corner, streaking down the front straightaway to turn 1.
Yeah, using all of the track as possible, up to 287 kilometers an hour before on the brakes. Gets the car slowed right down, gently kisses the apex, swings back right, swings back left, gets the corner nicely done, gets on the brakes well, is able to get the turn in and a good drive out the corner there. No wheel spin really at all, so a strong, minimal time lost there before getting on the brakes at the 75. Bit of a lockup, car turning in well, getting on the power, not hitting the wall, able to maintain as much speed as possible now for the flat out king of turn 5. Huygen, it's not the tightest because he needs to stay left for the braking and turn it. There we go, very smooth through turn 6. I think he had more he could have left on the table and a bit of messy on the braking for 7, but through the corner without really going sideways or losing too much time. He is currently 1/10 down on Cyril Basset, and a huge slide, but I think that was the case of him, tactical almost, and a 56 flat through the second sector. Let's see what Cyril Basset is able to do, Travis.
Yeah, Cyril Basset has this all figured out. As you said, a 10th up through the first split. Coming through this corner, Cyril Basset looked like he's using the rear of the car to swing it around the apex. 200 slower than Carlos Macioides. So Carlos found a little bit of time, a 10th and change in the second split. Both of them nearly dead even on the way through the third sector. Carlos Macioides across the line, minute 22.37, very close to his time in the semifinal duel. Watching Cyril Basset come through the final corner now. Wheel spin in the middle of the corner, but got it under control for the exit. Where does he come out? 22.25. Minute 22.25. Tom Cyril Basset has taken the top spot. Dual qualifying winner, pole position for Cyril Basset by 12 hundredths of a second over Carlos Macioides. Brilliant qualifying by Cyril Basset, who has worked so hard in this series, has been steadily moving his way up the order, and now claims a pole position.
Yeah, that's
and I'll note, sorry Tom, I'll note in chat, Cyril Basset is stunned. Cyril Basset is stunned that he has taken pole position.
Yeah, I've seen that as well. I don't think he can quite believe what's gone on there. He just came out with that and just all on it. And did a absolutely fantastic job. Carlos Macioides just put some excuses in the chat, but at the end of the day, if you don't put it together when it actually matters, it doesn't matter. So a very good job to Cyril Basset. Congratulations there. I didn't believe in him, and he proved me wrong.
Do you now, Tom?
No, there's still 2 races to go. But what I will say is that's a fantastic effort from his qualifying, and I think he's getting. If I can get my words out now, he's in a strong position to push now into the first of the 2 races we've got coming up, the 10-lap sprint race.
Yeah, Tom so overcome by emotion at Cyril Basset, proving him miserably wrong that he just cannot find the words to describe his elation at having participated in bringing this to all of you watching here on Sim Broadcast. This is round 5 of the MRC E-Challenge 2025 season at the S1DUS Ring. We're going to take a break for just a moment, waiting for everybody to get ready in the background to be a driver's briefing before the sprint, and then we will rejoin as we set the grid for the sprint race. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back, Sim Broadcast viewers, to round 5 of the MRC E-Challenge 2025 season at the S1DUS Ring. Cyril Bisset has taken pole position for the sprint race in a very exciting open qualifying and duels. Once again, this is the 5th and final round of the 2025 season. S1DUS Ring, all for it to play for today for many drivers except Gabber. Gabber almost certainly has the championship locked up for the drivers. His team, S1DUS, does have it locked up for the teams. There you can see the dual matchups and the winners. Cyril Bisset, a surprise to Tom anyway. But if I'm being honest, many of us, Cyril Bisset taking pole position for the sprint race coming up in just a few moments' time. Tom, he got your guy. You predicted Careless would have pole position, and Careless wasn't far off. But Cyril Bisset, brilliant performance from him today in qualifying.
Yeah, really excellent job from Cyril, and yeah, as you say, it's a surprise to me and a surprise to Cyril himself. But this is what we have, and this is the beauty of racing. You can't write the script because you've no idea what's going to happen, unlike Formula One. Anyway, moving on, we of course are going into the sprint race. 10 laps, 1 attack mode available, and this lovely 12 corner circuit. As you said, Travis, we have a few notes we can go over about predictions for the championship and who needs to come where for certain things to happen.
Yeah, so we'll bring the standings up. Gabber is at the top spot of the driver's standings, well clear of Carlos Magiotis. Gabber would have to score essentially 0 points today, which I think he can't actually do unless he were to disconnect, abort entirely. So Gabber almost certainly will be driver's champion. Carlos needs an inspired performance and a bit of luck to go his way if he wants to take the top spot. However, if we look further down the order, Cyril Bisset has put himself in a very strong position to claim that second spot from Carlos Magiotis. Carlos, Cyril Bisset, Timo Sarkkinen only separated by 6 points, so lots to play for in the Drivers' Championship standings. Second place is up for grabs. And then 5th on down, pretty well sorted. Ronnie Kronpushka to come up to 5th position. Agostinho da Silva is not in the server today, nor is Imran Azar. So Ronnie Kronpush safe as long as Ronnie Kronpush should just take 5th position from Agostinho da Silva. Ronnie just needs to put in the laps and finish races today, and he will be on his way to a 5th position in the championship. Not a bad showing from him. Down the order, Imran Azar, strong driver, renowned for his ability to save energy. Unfortunately, not able to participate in as many races as he would like this year. Will not be defending his championship. Will probably finish there in 9th position, though Stephen Martin, with an inspired performance, could claim that spot as well. So still a bit of shuffling that could happen in the Drivers' Championship, but the exciting story is there at the top. Positions 2, 3, and 4, all 3 of them quick today, fighting one another on circuit for that second spot. And next we'll look at the team's championship. As I said a moment ago, S1DUS has this pretty well locked up. Nearly twice as many points as second place Zafiralis. Race Green Autosports I think Race Green Autosports will take the second spot. I'll need Pete to remind me whether there are any Zafiralis drivers in the server today. The Sarkkinens are Zafiralis. That is my mistake. I confused Zafiralis with another team. So my apologies there. So a bit of work to do for Ronnie Kronpush if he wants to overcome the two of them. Timu doing well today. Jeff and Jakob there for Race Green Autosports, but well down the order. I believe he's starting in 10th position. And there you can see the rest of the order. SM Racing, Sosiski, Master Race Car, Tav Racing, Born to Race, all the way down to 9th. Yes Motorsports, represented by Carlos Magiotis today, though I don't know how much of a dent he'll be able to make in the team's championship. It could potentially take 3rd position. So less to do in the team's championship than there is in the Drivers' Championship, which again, wide open for positions 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. The grid is being set in the background. One driver ready so far, so I think maybe the briefing is still going on. One more time, this is the 5th and final round of the 2025 season of Master Race Cars E-Challenge Series. I'm joined today by Tom Jones. Peter Butcher is lurking in the background to talk as well. Boys, thoughts going into the sprint? Oh, there are none. That figures. That's pretty typical of Tom. Pete, I'll go to you.
Yeah, I was waiting for Tom, to be honest. Yeah, it was a chaotic qualifying, but brilliant stuff from Cyril. First pole in E-Challenge, putting it on the front row, which is exactly what he needs, as you said, going into the sprint, to try and overthrow his competitors to get the position he needs in the Drivers' Championship. But yeah, 10 short laps, the last race tonight with the rear-wheel drive version of the E-Challenger EVO. Should be a lot of fun.
And Tom, do you have anything you would like to share?
Yes, sorry, my fiance was stuffing my face with a cookie she's just made. It was very delicious, and I'll be looking forward to eating the rest of those later.
We can talk more if you can't be interrupted right now. I wouldn't blame you for going back to that cookie.
I have consumed it. I started laughing because I was mid-mouthful when you came to me, so I'm sorry about that. But
Cyril Bussey, that's my best Tom Jones impression today. Okay, get on with it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think it's with the light rain we currently have going on in the background. It's we've got some elements of definitely opportunity for the tyre changes. If the rain keeps going, it goes to wet, and maybe even get the normal standard carnage we like to expect from these E-Challenge races. So looking forward to that. I'll be honest, sprint race, not predicting a safety car, but I reckon we'll probably get one in the feature race.
So that's interesting you mentioned that, Tom. That's something we haven't talked about much at all this season. Safety cars, though, they featured prominently in the previous season that you called with me. I can't recall a single safety car so far this year. Not a single safety car, either sprints or features. So that would be unusual for the 2025 season to see a safety car. But Tom's bold predictions usually give us some entertainment. We'll see if it comes true today. Grid is set, waiting to introduce all of the drivers. Cyril Bussey will obviously be on pole position with Carlos Machiotis inside. We will drive past them in just a moment and introduce the entire grid. Red lights on for the drivers with an instruction not to move. That is not their signal to start driving away. There you can see drivers left, our right side of the screen. Cyril Bussey on pole position alongside Carlos Machiotis in the 34 machine. Second row is the number 87 Nico Patola alongside his countryman Teemu Sarkkinen. Fifth row of the grid will be Adam Brown alongside Gabber. Well down the order, used to seeing him closer to the front. Daniel Orlov in the blue 33 will start alongside final duels finisher Ton Badalas in the 73. Mika Sarkkinen starts in 9th position alongside race screen driver Jeff Jacob. His teammate Roni Kronpush outside of the final row alongside Stephen Martin in the pink and white number 67 machine. There is your grid. We wait for the presentation car to get out of the way, and in just a moment, the lights will come up for the first of 10 sprint race laps. Light rain, but dry track. We wait to see if weather could play a factor in the sprint race. We'll remind everybody that the finishing order of this race, the top 10 from the finishing order of this race, will be reversed, sets the grid for the final of finals, the last final in the 5 rounds of the 2025 E-Challenge season. Waiting for the lights to come on now so we can get this race underway. Cyril Bussey, I think, Tom, I think we got a moment to squeeze in a final thought. What is Cyril Bussey thinking on his first pole position?
I think, the final thought that's going to be going through his thought for this final opportunity for him to get ready to go is going to be possibly nerves about making sure he doesn't do a Lando Norris off the start. I'll let you take away for the start, Travis.
Yeah, fair enough. 4 lights, 3, 2, 1, and they're all lit, waiting for them to extinguish before Cyril Bussey leads them away now from the start-finish line. Great getaway from Cyril Bussey. Carlos Machiotis, a nice start behind him as well. Cyril Bussey defends the inside line, but he hasn't covered it off well enough. Carlos Machiotis looking up to the inside into turn 1. Everyone easy on the brakes. Cyril Bussey leaves him just enough room and is able to hold first position into turn 3. Carlos Machiotis looking inside, thinking better of it. Cyril Bussey defending plenty of air. Nice and clean out of that corner. Cyril Bussey, brilliant exit off of turn 3 and well away into the lead with Carlos Machiotis behind, followed by Nico Patola, Teemu Sarkkinen, and Adam Brown in 5th position. Everyone away nice and clean. I think the whole grid is going. No accidents, no incidents. The race well and truly underway. Fighting into turn 6. That is Adam Brown, who has gotten ahead of Mika Sarkkinen, who has fallen down the order. And now more cars alongside coming into turn 9.
Yeah, a couple little scraps going on. I saw Gabba made a brilliant lunge into turn 3 and was able to get past a couple cars with that move, and also caused can't remember who it was. I think it was Team Sarkhan to end up dropping down a couple of places. But Gabber, after a not great qualifying session, is really on the hunt with this top 3, absolutely hounding the back of Carlos Montoyotis to claim that second position. And Adam Brown is in a Sarkhan sandwich right now and feeling a bit of a rough time from it.
Yeah, change for the lead at the front. Carlos Montoyotis on the outside of Cyril Basset going into the first corner. Gabber looking in the background, taking the slipstream of 2 drivers. Carlos trying to go around the outside, still side by side with Cyril Basset. Cyril holding the inside line into turn 3. Gabber salivating at this opportunity. If these 2 can take each other off, he will be easily through and away into the lead. Cyril Basset holds the lead as they come down to turn 4 now, though Carlos Montoyotis is not quite through, still side by side. Wheel-to-wheel racing from Cyril Basset. Cyril Basset, no apparent pressure at all whatsoever on him for pole position. He is, well, maybe he isn't, but he certainly appears to be perfectly comfortable driving side by side. As you said, Tom, wet track, the 2 of them collide. Gabber through Cyril Basset. Now they will have to all come in for rain tires. They're well ahead of the weather commit line. Great spot, Tom.
Yeah, this is really going to mix up. We're going to see people possibly, potentially. I don't see how many people have done full speed pit stops here, but we're going to have to see, are they going to get the braking point right for pit entry? Are we going to see people speeding into the pits? Then are we going to see people getting the pit stops done correctly to get the tires changed and done that? Of course, missing this will result in heavy penalties, so you really need to make sure you get in the pits for this as well.
Ooh, Adam Brown was over the pit entry line there. You certainly can't go over the line on pit exit, but I don't know about entry, so we will we'll keep an eye on that. Side by side into pit lane. Trick of the camera. Looked like Gabber was side by side with another driver on the way into the pits, but all of them come in tightly together. Daniel Orlov still out. We'll need to check on the rule. I think you need to come in as soon as the track is declared wet if you're ahead of the wet commit line. So Cyril Basset stopped. Daniel Orlov still out on circuit. So Cyril Basset in the lead and other cars stopped behind him. Gabber and Carlos Montoyotis away. Cyril Basset stopped for a long time. Cyril Basset still stationary, Tom.
Yeah, this is, I don't know what's going on here. I think he's done something. There's a mistake going on here. But yeah, that is a real shame for him, and absolutely lost any opportunity really of contesting for a win there. That's a very long stop there for about 20 seconds.
Yeah, sorry, Tom. Brilliant driving from Carlos Montoyotis. Like on the brakes, out-braked Gabber into turn 1, manages to get the car stopped. Turn 3, wheel spin on exit. I think Carlos Montoyotis has the lead. That is Gabber in his mirrors. Carlos Montoyotis has taken the lead from Gabber on circuit, immediately out of pit lane, switching to wet tires. And he looks very tidy coming through turn 4. Carlos Montoyotis looking very strong.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant job there from Carlos Montoyotis, able to get through and see how well he is able to do this. Of course, Gabber's hitting the wall, they're all struggling after having so much confidence in the grip you had with the dry tyres, and then they're changed up onto these. Of course, there are a couple drivers still out on track on the wrong tyres. Hopefully they are coming into the pits to get that sorted. And I'm sure they will meet some sort of penalty from the stewards in relation to that. But it's going to be interesting to see where people actually filter out once that's been sorted.
Yeah, I called Carlos Montoyotis taking the lead of the race. Obviously, that will be the net lead of the race. He is not strictly in the lead right now. He's got Nico Pantola and Jeff and Jacob ahead of him on track. Daniel Orlov is in the pit lane and stationary right now. Gabber harassing Carlos Montoyotis for what will ultimately be the lead of the race. Looks like Jeff and Jacob also now down into pit lane. Nico Pantola still going around out on circuit. I don't think there's any way he managed to... Oh! Did Nico Pantola start on wet tires? Did we miss that, Tom?
I don't know.
Yeah, Daniel Orlov came in. He started on dry tires and then came in a lap late. Jeff and Jacob, has Jeff and Jacob done the same thing? I think perhaps he has. Daniel Orlov is still shown in third position, but he will receive a penalty. We could see there the race control message. But I think Jeff and Jacob and Nico Pantola have pulled a blinder. I thought Nico had just... I saw Nico. Yeah, so Nico sent a message. He asked permission to chat because he had the restriction wrong on the car, and the race director, JP, fixed that for him. That appeared to have been a mistake that they corrected before the start of the race, and I thought that explained Nico Pantola being all the way at the back of the order, but I think Nico and Jeffin have pulled a blinder here. They started on wet tires. They predicted it would go wet. Gabber goes through for third position. This won't be the net lead of the race. Nico Pantola is 10 seconds in the lead.
Yeah, this is absolutely brilliant. They've done this absolutely wonderful decisions. I think, you know, light rain at the start, they took the risk. 20 odd seconds for a pit stop. So he's taken the risk, put it onto the wets, and just hoped that it will change shortly. And it did. Was it one lap? First lap, it changed. So absolutely brilliant decision making from him. Took the risk, and it has paid off wonderfully for both drivers. And it's just now, I think, Jeff and Jacob's got to worry about how long is he able to keep this position before Gabber closes up onto the back of him.
Yeah, all Nico has to do here, Jeff and Jacob has not had a pace. Like this is a play to try to get a top 5, top 6 finish from Jeffin. Though he's not a bad driver by any stretch, but he's struggled to get on with these cars in this event today and in past events. But Nico is very handy. He's quick. All he has to do is just put in average laps, and he will win the sprint easily. Here, looking back to Carlos Rodriguez, Gabber is taking off in third position. Gabber making hay on Nico, already gained 2 seconds on him since we investigated the gap a lap or so ago. Careless there in fourth now has Adam Brown lurking behind him. Adam closing that gap. Careless looking so handy with this qualifying. Well, and looking handy with it again now. Gabber got away a little bit, and now Careless has closed that gap in. And yeah, Careless well and truly in a Gabber. I almost said a Gabber. We'll go with Adam Brown sandwich. A Gabber Adam Brown sandwich. Careless there in fourth. Your prediction for a position and a win is going backward, Tom.
It's not over yet, Travis. But yeah, it's not gone the way I initially thought it would do. But I think when we say Jack, it's more of a case of him hoping for a top position finish. It's not counting on speed. It's just the drivers coming up behind him are very, very quick and very, very handy. So I think it's a case of him just needing to try and hang on as long as he's got 5 laps to go now total. And it's Gabber who's right up on the back of him and be looking to make an opportunity here. Sorry about that slight delay there, ladies and gentlemen. We just had a slight technical issue on the end here. What you would have seen on the stream while the voices were out is that a few drivers have now jumped in and started their attack modes. Jeff and Jacob, one of those. He's got all these cars behind him, so he's jumped in to try and use the extra power to hold positioning. Also, Timo Sarkinen has gone in, as well as Mika Sarkinen. Then Daniel Orlov has also started his as well. Of course, Daniel Orlov has been awarded a 1-lap deduction from his result of not taking the tyres when he should have done, which is why he is 1 lap down right at the bottom there. But Jeff and Jacob, a man under heavy pressure, Travis.
Yeah, very heavy pressure. He's got Carlos Matriotis behind him. He did well to keep Gabber behind him as long as he did. Gabber steaming away in pursuit of Nico Pantola, though Nico Pantola is on his 7th lap of the race right now. All he has to do, even though that gap is now under 5 seconds, all he has to do is manage. Huge overspeed here by Adam Brown, late on the brakes, outbraking Carlos Matriotis coming into the first corner. Careless looking so good in qualifying, though he's going to fight back here through turn 2. Adam has the measure of him on the outside, will now have the inside of turn 3. Careless going to go the long way around and into the attack zone. Extra horsepower on the way out of turn 3. He will come rocketing off turn 3 and down to turn 4. Is he brave enough to get onto the brakes and try to pass Careless? Try to pass, who is that ahead of him? That's Adam Brown. No, that's Mika Sarkinen ahead of him.
No, it's Timo Sarkinen has made the move there.
Yeah,
he got the opportunity.
My apologies. Yeah, because
Adam
the
here
board
making a move on the inside. Jeff running very wide on these wet tyres, allowing Team Sarkinen and Carlos Matriotis on through. And Adam Brown, Team Sarkinen have made contact. Adam's gone sideways. Carlos using the attack boost he's got to try and didn't quite see him and has made contact, getting very scrappy between these three right now. So I think some drivers might be getting a little bit annoyed and a bit heated with that. And so they just need to keep their heads on. And another slight update. the rain has stopped. We've gone no more rain, so I'm assuming we're going to be ending up with a dry track sooner or later, and this could pay dividends for the drivers, or could smite some of the drivers who are further up the road, because if he goes over the weather commit line and then it goes to dry, then they don't have the opportunity to get in the pits if they've gone past the pits before some of the other drivers will have that potential.
Yeah, if this goes dry, it will cause mayhem with cars being split over the weather commit line, as you said. Still scrapping behind here. That is Teemu Sarkkinen alongside Adam Brown. Careless might have been called for avoidable contact. Track goes dry, but I think everyone is still ahead of the weather commit line. They are, except for one driver coming around in last position. Who is it? That is Mika Sarkkinen. Mika Sarkkinen coming into pit lane for dry tires. Everyone else will have to do it, but he gets the measure of everyone else. He's got nearly a full lap, or the better part of half a lap on dry tires that nobody else will have. So this could net him a few positions. If there's anyone having difficulty getting into or out of pit lane, this could benefit him immensely. Nico Pantola just now coming around to turn 7, still in control of the race, just touching the wall there. I was going to say a lap ago, Adam Brown might have a complaint for avoidable contact if that had affected his race. Careless, I think, misjudging how much room he had to come across the circuit. Looking at Gabbard now, who is trying desperately to catch Nico Pantola. That gap was coming down more quickly. Now, well, he's pulled another second in that lap. There we see Teemu Sarkkinen behind Carlos Magiotis, who reclaimed 3rd position in the scrap on the previous lap. Mika Sarkkinen is away and out of pit lane. Nico Pantola has chosen to stay out.
Yeah, there's only 2 laps to go. It's about, I think it's about a 15-second delta. So, yeah, well, I think you lose about 25 seconds doing the pits in this. The delta gain just isn't there worth it. But what I think is he's seen here, he's panicked with Todd Gonzalez coming out the pits, but Todd is just going to disappear up the road from him. Now he's on the dry weather tires.
Yeah, he will indeed. Adam Brown still trying to get this position back from Carlos Magiotis, who has rescued a podium out of a very difficult first half of the race. Taking the wide line in the early exit, trying to get the cut back on Adam Brown, but Adam, wise to it, takes a more conservative line, defensive line through the corner. On the way down now to turn 4, and Adam looks to have this position pretty well cemented. The timing tower not updating, so... Oh, sorry, I've confused Carlos Magiotis and Teemu Sarkkinen. Teemu Sarkkinen trying to reclaim this position from Adam Brown. My apologies. As we look forward to leader of the race, Nico Pantola, halfway through his 9th lap with Gabber not far behind. Nico's just gotten through traffic. That would have been Todd Gonzalez. Gabber needs to get through as well. Only 3 seconds separating them now. Both of them on attack boost. Gabber and Nico Pantola might as well be the exact same amount of time remaining.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to matter either way, because I think they'll probably get, what, a lap each? Yeah, they've got another lap on that, and then it's done. And of course, they are right on to the final lap of the race as well. Interestingly, Todd Gonzalez is sat right behind. He let Gabber through, but he is sat there with the dry tyres, and it's been a few occasions I've been watching him. He got right at the back to Nico and had to bail out the corner because he just came so much quicker into the corner due to that tyre advantage. Of course, there is 1 second in it for this final lap. It's going to be interesting who can hold on. Is Gabber going to have the pressure? Is Nico going to be able to remain imperious to that pressure and bring it home for the win?
Yeah, Gabber looking really feisty and racy now. Nico Pantola had the better of Gabber in qualifying, looked so much more comfortable on these tires, performed better, made it through to the semifinals, whereas Gabber did not. But Gabber looking really racy. Great exit off that corner. You can see how much more speed Gabber is carrying off the corner, though. Looks like he dipped into the wall. Perhaps he's coasting through the corner here. Lots of space gained on braking, and a nice exit. Nico only a few corners to go, but this is the kind of pressure nobody wants when they're going around in an E-Challenge, or any car for that matter, in Live for Speed. Being pressurized by Gabber, I wouldn't wish that on anybody. Into turn 9. Nico Pantola still ahead through turn 9. Gabber, a little bit of wheel spin and out into the wall. That might be just enough if Nico can get through the last few corners cleanly. Nice and easy on the brakes into turn 10, clean through the apex. This turn 11 lasts forever. Gabber using the front of the car. That won't work. He's using the all-wheel drive to try to pull the car off the corner, but he's gone too hot into turn 11. Nico, as long as he doesn't come through this corner backward, which he does not, away off the final corner, under the gantry and across the line. Nico Pantola pulls an absolute blinder, Tom, to take the top spot in the sprint race.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic call from him, making that decision to start on the wet tyres, take the risk. Is it going to go wet? Is it going to stay dry? But yeah, brilliant decision from him. If it stayed dry, it would have been a totally different decision, but it went wet for him, so it was perfect for him. Cyril Brisset started on pole position, had an absolute nightmare in the pits, and is now crossing the line in 9th place. Started, meaning he's going to be starting P2 in the P3, sorry, in the feature race. So still right at the front again, almost planned, but not quite where you want to be.
No, certainly not. Here we see the sprint podium coming up now. I think this is the most incredibly timed and coordinated, orchestrated podium that we have ever seen. All three of them up there side by side at exactly the same time, on the brakes at the same time. We couldn't have choreographed this, Tom. Gabber just behind Nico Pantola, probably would have had him in one more lap, but Nico Pantola chooses to start on wet tires. His first lap looked like an absolute disaster. Then it turned to brilliance when the track went wet. Nico Pantola holds on half a second ahead of Gabber in second position. Carlos Macioides manages to rescue a disastrous-looking race in the first half and take a podium. That will help him on his campaign to keep second position in the Drivers' Championship standings. Adam Brown is in fourth, Teemu Sarkinen in fifth, Roni Krampus and Jeff Njaga. Not a bad job from the Grace Green team there to take sixth and seventh. Cyril Brisset, an unfortunate race from him from pole position down to eighth, but he will start in third for the feature. Stephen Martin in ninth position. Mika Sarkinen rounds out the top 10. Todd Gonzalez will finish one lap behind in 11th after making a late pit stop, and Daniel Orlov missed the weather commit line in the sprint race when the track went wet. 1 lap penalty for stopping a lap too late. We may have some interviews between the sprint and the final. We have a few minutes to spare. So we'll take a look, see if anybody is lined up. If we have some interviews, we'll have a quick chat, and then we will get ready for the sprint race coming up in a few minutes' time. Feature race. Sorry, I said sprint race. Feature race coming up after the sprint in a few minutes' time. 20 laps, rear-wheel drive car with regenerative braking. Much more emphasis on managing energy in the feature race.
Yeah, interesting point as well. Something to note, provisionally, Gabber is now the champion as well. It just comes down to, unless there's any sort of fun little penalties they want to apply on the back end. But I think Gabber now is the champion of Series 5.
Yeah, nobody lined up for interviews. I think everybody has their heads down and trying to decide how they're going to approach the final, the feature race in the final round of the 2025 MRC E-Challenge season. We will take a break for a few minutes, and we will be back to make our bold predictions and then set the grid for the final. We'll be back in a minute. Welcome back, everyone, to the fifth and final round of the 2025 MRC E-Challenge season at the S1DUS Ring. I have Tom in the booth with me. I missed him most of the season, but he's back for the finale. Peter there in the background as well. Tom, get your predictions in for the final, the feature race of the final round of this season of E-Challenge.
5-car pileup.
Straight to the point. I appreciate that. I mean, you've only got one race left to get your safety car prediction in, so might as well go big.
Literally. Big crashes, upside down, everything. Full works.
All right, well, clearly Tom doesn't have much more to say about this. Drivers conducting the officials conducting the briefing with the drivers in the background. One thing they will be reviewing is this right here, the track map, the S1DUS Ring. Once again, 12 corners, attack boost on the outside of turn 3. Drivers will have 2 attack boosts available in the final. The top 10 from the sprint race will have their positions reversed. That puts Mika Sarkkinen on the pole, with Nico Pantola all the way back in 10th position. We will review the grid in just a moment, and we'll remind everybody that the car used in the feature race is slightly different than the one we used in the earlier sessions. Earlier sessions feature the all-wheel drive version of the car, the MRC Challenge, the E-Challenge EVO car. It's really hard to say. With no regenerative braking, whereas in the feature race where we emphasize energy management, the car does have regenerative braking, but only rear-wheel drive. Slightly different beast to tame for these drivers. The championship, Tom has done a bit of arithmetic in the background, and though Carlos Machiotis still doesn't have a second position locked up, that second position in the Drivers' Championship is still up for grabs. Sorry, I've got Pete shouting things in my ear. My apologies. First position in the Drivers' Championship will go to Gabber. Tom, how confident are you in your arithmetic?
I'm not at all, but I'm pretty sure it's correct.
Okay, fair enough. Tom has been enjoying cookies in the background, and I think that's what happened. Just again, I called on him to give his insight, and I think he's being filled full of chocolate chip confections. Here we go. Once again on screen, we'll remind everybody of the cars one more time. Final race, the feature race, rear-wheel drive, regenerative braking, and drivers will be compelled to use the attack boost twice in this 20-lap final. We'll take a look at the Drivers' Championship once again. These are not provisional after the sprint race. These are the standings after the going into the 5th round of the championship. Gabber at the top. That will be the championship. That will be a championship for position. That will be a championship for Gabber in the MRC E-Challenge 2025 season. After this is concluded, he has taken enough points from the sprint race in order to cement the championship. But there you can see Carlos Machiotis was only 6 points clear of Timo Sarkkinen in 4th. Finished well and in front of his competitors in the sprint race. Just needs to put on a good performance in the feature, and he will have a second position in the driver standings. In the team's championship, S1DUS had it all. S1DUS already had the team's championship locked up, but still a couple positions to play for behind him. I believe it is Race Green Motorsports who were trying to take positions from Zafiralis. Once we have it up on screen, there we go. Yeah, Race Green and Zafiralis close together. Zafiralis, the drivers, see, that's Timo Sarkkinen and Mika Sarkkinen, probably about even on points with Race Green. We haven't done the math, but they will be close. Mika Sarkkinen was further down the order, but Roni Kronpush and Jeff and Jakob finished well. Tom, get your predictions in now. We're about to set the grid.
This is going to be a difficult one. It's a longer race. I'm going to go with Gabber's going to have the time to get back to the front. But then, of course, it is dry, so Silver Say might be absolutely rapid. We'll have to see.
We will have to see indeed. About to drive by the grid for the final time this season on the right side of your screen. Driver's left pole position for the final is Mika Sarkkinen alongside the number 67, this bright fuchsia and white machine, Stephen Martin. Cyril Basset, pole position for the sprint. Difficult race for him. Hopefully he can do better in the final in starting in 3rd alongside Jeff and Jakob, the first of the Race Green drivers. Roni Kronpush in the 96 will start in 5th position alongside the other Zafiralis driver, Timo Sarkkinen. Adam Brown in in Sim Broadcast livery will start alongside Carlos Machiotis in the 4th row of the grid. Gabber, second position, nearly took first in the sprint alongside Nico Pantola, sprint race winner with a brilliant strategy call, a risky strategy call to start the race on wet tires. And the final row of the grid will be Todd Gonzalez alongside Daniel Orlov. Final race of the season, the grid is set. 12 drivers ready to streak away into the first corner here at the S1DUS Ring. All of them with 2 attack boosts remaining. They must use all of them during the race. The track is dry. There is no rain. And haven't seen anything about predictions of rain. Waiting for the lights to come up now. 5-second call from the race director, Jonathan Palmer. 1 light is on, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights illuminated. And coming down for the last time in the 2025 MRC E-Challenge season. Now, Mika Sarkkinen takes off from pole position. Lots of scrapping behind. Cars 4, 5 wide in the background. Mika Sarkkinen still in the lead. Oh, car into the pit wall. Car into the pit exit wall, hit it at just a terrible angle. Steven Martin loses the rear of the car. There is a pileup. Nobody upside down, Tom, but you got the better part of a 5-car pileup. Roni Krompush will come away just ahead of the course car, but Mika Sarkkinen is ahead of, who is that? That is going to be Cyril Basset up to second position. Steven Martin loses a few positions. Cyril Basset right behind. No, that's Cyril Basset in the lead of the race. Cyril Basset is in the lead of the race ahead of Mika Sarkkinen, Tom.
Yeah, Carlos Monchoitis was the one who went pitching across into the exit barrier, and Nico, I know it wasn't a 5-car pileup, but 5 cars were involved in all sorts of fun stuff on the start-finish line there on the way to this first turn. So while it wasn't a particular pileup, it was 5 cars crashing. So I'm going to take that as kind of correct, and we'll leave it there, I think. But Daniel Orlov right now going side by side with Carlos Monchoitis. As Kerr's able to sweep round the inside and make a bit of a lunge on Jeff Jacob. At the front there, Cyril Basset has made a fantastic job in taking the lead from that 3rd place, but he's run deep, a little bit deep there, but able to hold the position. Mika Sarkkinen looking to try and jump him, but it's a big run down, bit of a wiggle there on the old, getting the power down, and he's got some big names with some fast drivers sat right behind him who are more than willing to try and take advantage. Teammate, of course, right behind, but then they've got Gabber as well right behind them both.
Yeah, Sarkkinen train with Gabber looking behind. That gives a little bit of a gap to Cyril Basset. Brilliant onboard VR view from Mika Sarkkinen here. Cyril conservatively into the first corner. That is Mika Sarkkinen taking a peek, but Cyril still in control through turn 2 and on the way to turn 3. Blinder of a start from Gabber. That is Gabber now up to second position on the start of the second lap from 9th on the grid. Meanwhile, Nico Pantola, it has all come unraveled for him. Started in 10th position, made up 1, and has since dropped 2. So Gabber way up the order from his starting position. Nico Pantola going backward. Not sure what's happened there. Doubt it's a gamble on wet tires again since it's dry track. But Gabber now right under the rear wing, the rear fins of Cyril Basset. And I don't think the lead is going to last long for Cyril.
No, I don't think it will either. I think Nico was one of those drivers caught up right at the start. And so I think I don't know whether he's got some damage or something that's just caused him to struggle. But there we go, Gabber making a dive up the inside for the lead of the race. Cyril Basset not really putting up any sort of contention for it. I think he kind of knows it's an inevitability with Gabber coming through, and he's just going to look now to try and sit right under the back of him and keep with him moving forward. But he is, of course, vulnerable to both Sarkkinen brothers who are right there behind him, hunting for some opportunity to get past as well.
Yeah, the first race certainly didn't go as well as Cyril Basset would have liked, but this right here is a great opportunity. He's running mostly comfortably in second position. Timo Sarkkinen started to stretch his advantage on Mika Sarkkinen, but Cyril can drive behind Gabber here, and he can learn a lot. Gabber is so good. You learn so much. You can gain so much insight just by following another quick driver. So if Cyril Basset can stay relatively close within a second or two to where he can still see what Gabber is doing as Timo Sarkkinen goes through and takes that position from Cyril, these two drivers, I think, pretty evenly matched. If the both of them can follow Gabber and not get too far away, they stand to learn a lot as Nico Pantola gets a little help going sideways through turn 3. He is, I think he's alongside, that was Jeff and Jacob behind him, or yeah, it was Jeff and Jacob he was racing with. Now we look forward again to Cyril Basset stretching this gap on Mika Sarkkinen, who now has Steven Martin behind him. Steven Martin, that looked like an unintentional dive. Adam Brown so deep into turn 5. No, turn 6, I was right. Adam, deep into turn 6, looked like he was about to take Stephen Martin out, but manages to get the car slowed down and through in the next corner.
Yeah, all going on a little bit. I think that's the joy of these reverse races, when you have the drivers who aren't quite as quick up to the front and they don't quite have the same braking points as the faster drivers. So you have sometimes the fast driver might forget that and make a bit of an audacious move. You see Adam there sniffing the back of Mika Sarkkinen there, trying to find a way through. Just needs to be careful not to get too over comfortable and make a erroneous touch. But there we go, pulling out to the side. Got the run now into turn 1. Who's going to brake first? Who's going to brake last? Who's going to get it done? Adam now able to pull ahead just down the start finish straight here, but braking very similar positions, and Mika Sarkkinen holding it round the outside, still there, still with the position in his, not quite in his favor anymore. Adam Brown has managed to sweep around the outside, got the inside for the hairpin, and I think that's probably going to be position sorted there for Adam, and yes, it looks like it is.
Great on-board shot there, and great call by Pete in the background to get that up on screen while that battle was happening. You can see the advantage of VR, how much more you can see, and how it improves your awareness of the cars around you. Great shot from Mika, so we thank him once again for providing VR onboards. Cyril now on his own there in third position. I think Adam Brown is slowly catching. Cyril has gone through the attack boost a few corners ago, so he's got 3.5 minutes remaining of a little bit of extra power. And I think coming up soon, we're on lap 4, so in a few laps' time, we'll see what the energy situation looks like for drivers. Gabber driving away in the lead, first position ahead of Timo Sarkkinen, 2 seconds behind Cyril Basset, another 2 seconds behind Timu, with Adam Brown in 4th. And someone has crashed into Stephen Martin, who went off into the wall at turn. Is this turn? No, where are we? That's the final corner. So that was turn 10 and 11. Stephen Martin went off straight into the wall in turn 10. The front of that car, a proper crunch on it, Tom.
Yeah, he's not having a pleasant time on this session with this race. He's still in 7th place, but he's coming off very early in comparison. Top and starts doing a huge jump down the inside as well. But he's doing a mobile chicane out there at the moment. But he's confident in other places as well. So it's a bit going on at the minute with people's positioning. I'm looking at an absolute bit of a cluster going on around Nico Pintola at the minute, but Nico's not managed to get through. It's all kind of going on there. No one really knows where they should be braking or who should be going ahead of. So it's all a bit interesting.
Yeah, unfortunate for Nico. Still mired there near the back of the order after he started 9th. He started 10th. He was now up to 8th, but he was up to 9th, caught in the first lap muzzle. Now back up in positions, but well behind where he would like to be. He started alongside Gabber, sideways into turn 7. Can't tell from this view, but it certainly had the hallmarks of getting a little bit of assistance entering the corner that way. Now Nico into turn 9. He would like to get away from the crowd behind him and try to catch the drivers ahead. Apologize once again for audio difficulties, uncharacteristic of the systems we use to bring these events to you, but I think we've got it sorted out this time. Hopefully we don't have a reprisal of this issue as we come in just in time to see Nico Pintola driving up behind Carlos Matriotis, who has gone through the attack zone. So Nico making a little bit of progress, but we should see Carlos get away ever so slightly with the extra power. Ahead of him, Adam Brown was through the attack boost about 1 lap ago. 2 minutes remaining. Cyril Basset, his first attack boost used, will be running out toward the end of this lap. Gabber in the lead, 1/4 of the way through the distance. Timo Sarkkinen slowly falling behind. Cyril Basset behind him, falling into the clutches of Adam Brown. So lots of racing down the order, but Gabber well in command of this race.
Yeah, Gabber has managed to get his hands on this one. No sneaky pit stop strategies are able to be pulled on this occasion, so it's very much a case of just getting out there and driving. And Gabber is one of those drivers who is very, very consistent at that and very, very good. So it looks to me like he has this quite sealed up. Adam now right on the back there of Cyril Bousset. Cyril Bousset's attack boost has run out. As he does that, Adam sweeps out to the outside, still using his attack boost, and then tucks back on in behind. I think that's Timo Sarkkinen right ahead of him, as he's going to look to try and get past now and try and see if he can do anything towards closing down onto Gabber. Of course, to do that, he still has to get past Timo Sarkkinen.
Yeah, Adam is making pretty quick progress here, which has me slightly concerned for his energy situation. The proof will be in the data when we bring it up in the next lap or two. As we see Nico Pantola go through the attack boost and manage to stay outside Daniel Orlov. The way Daniel responded there, I'm not sure he expected Nico Pantola to be right alongside and then reacted accordingly. Todd Gonzalez, the brilliant livery on one of the MRC machines with Stephen Martin behind. And now Adam Brown right there behind Timo Sarkkinen has wasted no time getting up to Timo. A little bit of extra power, 30 seconds remaining of that, so he'll be running out of that extra energy somewhere, probably coming onto the front straight or somewhere along the front straight. But Adam clearly has some pace. Just makes me wonder, the drivers around him are not slow. Adam isn't either, but this is enough extra pace that I wonder if he is consuming just a little bit more than he should to make the end of the race. And oh no! Oh, Adam, drive-through penalty for Gabber, causing an avoidable collision. So that first lap coming down the front straight, cars that went streaking off into the pit lane wall, Gabber given responsibility for that, and he's called in for a drive-through penalty. That blows the race wide open.
Yeah, that is. I have to say, I saw the carnage. I didn't see who caused it. So that being put onto Gabber, that's a huge swing for the race result. He's going to lose at least 20-something seconds with that. And so quite likely going to be looking him feeding out around 8th position there, around Daniel Orlov area. So that is quite a penalty to get put onto him there. So let's see how. I wonder if he's going to try and wait a little bit before he serves it, or if he has to serve it straight away. I'm not 100% on the rule on this one. Travis, any idea?
I believe he gets 3 laps, but we'll ask Pete to check on that in the background. Pete says 3 laps. So now this blows the race wide open, because in past events we have seen Timo Sarkkinen, Cyril Bousset, Carlos Margiotis is well down the order, but Cyril and Timo Sarkkinen have been very good in these cars. They have not been slow. They have managed well. They have kept the pace up. It's not quite Gabber or Imran Azar pace, but they have been quite good. Adam Brown is a very talented driver. Adam Brown is extremely good. But the rate at which he has come by his competitors, I am dearly worried for how much energy he has. So if he has managed this, if he is driving an all-time great performance, then I think he's in a very strong position to take the win here. But if he has taken too much and he needs to conserve toward the end of the race, this might still be on for Timo Sarkkinen and Cyril Bousset. There we go. So you can see. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, I was going to say, just being informed, that showing there on the screen, that has just informed Gabbert that he has the penalty. So it's 3 laps from now, I would assume. I don't think he's going to want to go in straight away, because he's just got his attack boost, which is the extra power. So I think he's going to wait until that's done and then come in. So when we'll see when he comes in. I think he's asked for permission to try and contest this, but I think it's very much the decision has been made there. And Adam now needs to look at extending that gap he's got to Timo Sarkkinen. Otherwise, he's going to be in because he's going to feed out now into the lead of the race. He effectively is net lead of the race. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, Adam saving now. Timo Sarkkinen is through again. We could see them in the background when we were watching Gabber come down toward turn 10. It didn't look like a mistake by Adam. Timo is through. So I hesitate to say that I made a good prediction here, because we just don't have enough information yet. Adam again is very, very good, but Timo, you can see, is ahead and away. Gabber's still driving around in the lead. Those figures on the screen now. And Adam is a little bit down on Timo. Cyril very safe. Gabber would be very safe, but he is going backward with the drive-through. This is close, but Adam is just ever so slightly down, and we know how much these margins, even margins of 1.5 points, can make when you stretch that over the distance of an entire race. And there you can see Timu has grown that gap. Adam now down to 53.5. So Cyril should be coming up on Adam any moment now. No, Cyril 5 seconds down on Adam Brown. So Cyril has some work to do to catch Adam. But Timo Sarkkinen looking like he's in a very strong position here.
Oh, huge damage on Tos Gonzalez. Not sure what happened there, but it looks like he's probably going to be going for retirement because his car is looking a bit like a rhombus, really. Not the sort of rectangle shape you expect the top down of a car to be. So something big happened. And there we go. Gabba diving into the pits now to serve his penalty. Let's see if he is able to make it nice and clean, get through those first couple corners without any issues. And here he comes out onto pit lane and stops. I think he's in okay, not speeding there. Yeah, all the way good there. So as you see, cars feeding on through now. Timo Sarkkinen into the lead of the race. Adam Brown taking up third. Second, Cyril Bousset in for third. Where is Gabba going to feed out?
Not that far behind. So Gabber is going to come out. It'll be after, I think time ticks over the next split. I'm going to guess it'll be about 10 seconds. Is that Carlos Machiotis, who has just gone through with a badly bent front. The front wing on that car is mangled to pieces. So Carlos has been in the wall somewhere hard. So Gabber right here behind Carlos, that's sixth position, it'll be 13 seconds off the lead. I don't think Gabber is completely out of this. He's halfway through the race, and that is a big gap to make up. He needs to come up with a second a lap, but we have seen similarly inspired performances from Gabber before, but now we look to the lead. Adam Brown still less than a second behind Timo Sarkkinen. This gap is growing and shrinking as they drive around. Number 73, that is Todd Gonzalez, left with performance issues. So we thank him. We thank him for that. Massive respect. It's disappointing that he had to leave the race, but if the game was causing him issues and he can lag and impact one of his fellow competitors, that is the adult and respectable move for him to do. So sorry to Todd, but thank you very much for not potentially impacting the race. As we look forward from Adam Brown, Tom.
Yeah, Adam there still staring down the back of Timo Sarkkinen, who seems to be lifting up and saving a bit more. Adam going for the move up the inside, and it looks completely uncontested by Timo Sarkkinen. As I say, that's a huge sweep back round, carrying that momentum back through and then sending it up the inside into the hairpin. Yeah, so looks like he's saving a bit more. I think they're both going for a bit more saving going on here now. Gabba has managed to get past Chaos Mortuitus, so it has a bit of free air ahead to push, and these guys don't really want to be fighting, because if they fight too hard now, it's only going to allow Gabba back on in and close in the window on them.
So I really like this from Timo Sarkkinen. Even though he has the slipstream, Adam is using a lot of energy to stay on throttle and catch that much going into the corner. Coasting for so long, Timo Sarkkinen, out of the throttle at the 300-meter mark. He's going to save so much energy there. And then he so easily just retook the position. It looked premeditated, like he saw that coming at the start-finish line. It was so smooth. He's able to get the position going into turn 3 again. And now if he gets a good exit out of the final corner, perhaps they can do this one more time. But it's just costing Adam energy to try to take this position. But maybe he's done the arithmetic. Maybe he knows something we don't. If he can squeeze the margins out so that he's coming across the line when his energy hits 0.0. Great exit off the final corner. Looks like Adam might try the same move again as they cross the line. We're past the halfway mark, beginning the 13th lap. Adam is going to try to take the top spot into the first corner one more time.
Yeah, Timo Sarkkinen, very early lift out. He's been lifting out very early, pretty much all the way around the track. And there you go, exactly the same as last lap. Just sweeps on back round. While it's great to watch, this has meant that Gabba has caught up 3 seconds in 2 laps. And at that rate, it means he's going to catch on to them unless someone like Cyril Bousset is able to put up the fight when it comes to it. Or maybe possibly they're looking at saving, because look, Gabba at 42.5%, he's got better energy than the pair of these guys, and he's catching at a much faster rate. So they need to kind of relax now, stop fighting each other, and just sort of focus on building a gap, because they've got 8 laps to go. And if they're losing time at the rate they're losing, it's going to allow Gabba to come sweeping back on in.
It certainly could. For everyone watching, this is a racecraft masterclass by Timo Sarkkinen. Twice, Adam has come by hot into the first corner, got on the brakes really hard, really deep, Teemu Sarkinen just takes a wider line out of the first corner. Adam is wide on the exit out to the wall, and Teemu Sarkinen just does the cutback on him, easily retakes the position into the third corner, parks his car on the apex, so Adam has nowhere to go. And if we see this a third time, I might, Tom and I might rib Adam a little bit in chat after this race is over. If it happens for a third time, and it certainly looks like it might, I will say that Teemu has the better of him. Nope, Adam thinks better of it this time. He's, I think, if he's not listening, he has realized this is only playing into Gabber's hands behind them. He thinks a little bit wiser of following Teemu Sarkinen and just trying to put time on the gap.
Yeah, Teemu, I think, has taught Adam a bit of a lesson. Stop bothering, stop doing that. You're wasting your time. And it's probably helping. They only lost a second to Gabber that lap as a result. So hopefully for them, they can see a bit more of a resistance to Gabber's always oncoming presence. I'm struggling for words at this point, Travis.
Yeah, struggling for words. We're out of ways to describe Gabber's presence in a race. Impetuous, imperious, ever-present, oppressive in some cases. Gabber, we're used to seeing him at the front, and there he is again today, or was again today. If you're just now coming on, Gabber was given a drive-through penalty for causing an avoidable collision right off the start. There was a big scramble, cars coming off grid positions in all different directions. We couldn't tell, but it looked like somebody was slow off the grid in the background, and then there was a scramble. Gabber given responsibility for sending a couple cars into the pit lane exit wall, and that has put Teemu Sarkinen and Adam Brown in control of the race. These two swapping positions in the first corner a few laps ago. Adam and Teemu pretty even off the final corner now, so Adam thinking better of trying to retake this position as we watch Steven Martin right there behind Mika Sarkinen.
Yeah, a bit of a weird one for Mika Sarkinen. He was doing a lot stronger earlier, and now he seems to have fallen down a little bit and is struggling. He has Steven Martin obviously on them, trying to harass him and gain some positions off him. So I think Mika Sarkinen needs to focus a little bit. It might have a little bit of damage, but doesn't look like it. But he's definitely struggling currently in comparison to Steven Martin. So I think it might come down to a long-range energy game.
I think you're probably right. He lets Steven Martin through now. So Steven Martin will be up to 8th position. Steven Martin had 8th position. We'll see if he can hold it. At the front, Adam Brown now lurking behind Teemu Sarkinen. These two working together really well. So Adam is just driving in this gap about 3 or 4 tenths of a second behind Teemu Sarkinen, taking advantage of the slipstream that will save him a little bit of energy. And both of them have been inch perfect. A little bit of wheel spin there from Adam, but the previous lap, the two of them have been inch perfect, identical lines through every corner. Just the slightest mistake there from Adam, but it's not going to cost him too badly. Teemu Sarkinen using the rear of the car to try to get it around the corner and on the power with a slightly more favorable line. And nice and easy through the final corner here. Adam throttling up once he gets past the apex. These two well in control. He's looking tight on energy, Tom. Cyril Basset, Gabber in great position. Teemu Sarkinen, I'm going to guess, is pretty close because he's less than everyone else but Adam. So these two, they could be right on the money. Adam certainly looking like he's in a more precarious position than Teemu, but it's they're holding this gap. Gabber is going to get Cyril Basset very soon. Gabber is making time, but they're holding this gap right around 8.5 seconds.
Yeah, I think we missed it. Cyril Basset has been overtaken by Gabber. Gabber has been released now to hunt down the leading pair. 8 seconds over the next 5 laps. The pace they've been doing, they should be fine. And I think just from light mental calculations, we're over 3/4 of the way through the race. And so they should have enough energy to make it to the end. Of course, it wouldn't be the first time I've had to eat my hat tonight. So that could possibly happen again.
How many hats do you have left, Tom?
I've got 2 more in the room, and then it's onto my racing helmet. So, you know, I hope not to go that far.
It was a nice touch looking away from the microphone to deceive us into believing that you have hats.
Well, I have to cover my receding hairline somehow.
You and me both, pal. We were looking at Jeff and Jacob battling for the 9th position there with Mika Sarkinen. Now ahead once again to Adam Brown. Still lurking there. The gap a little bit bigger now and closed once again using the power of the slipstream. Adam is now wise to, So Adam has changed his strategy slightly. Adam was on the power to the start finish line and got a lot of overspeed and then jumped out of the power. And now he has taken this position. Teemu Sarkkinen is going to force Adam to the inside. Can he cut back here? No. Adam parks on the apex. And though he is ever so slightly down on energy, he now is ahead of Teemu Sarkkinen.
Yeah, I think Team has made a little mistake that I would have dived in and taken the energy boost there when that then happened. But then he also sits in the position now where, because he is off throttle longer than Adam is, he also sits in the benefit of he gets the slipstream while he's off throttle more. So it's only going to sort of play into his hands for keeping energy in the car and having that extra to use when he inevitably needs to defend from Gabber.
Teemu has a confidence on the brakes that I do not. 3 or 4 corners in a row now, I have gasped thinking he's going to run right under the diffuser of Adam Brown, but then he gets the car slowed up off the power and then on the brakes. He's doing a great job here just following Adam around, conserving as much energy as he can. We will look for him to dive into the attack boost zone on the next lap, because on the 18th of 21 laps, see, it's 3.5 minutes for a little bit more than 3.5 minutes for an attack boost. They get about 2.5 laps out of it. So only 1 or 2 laps left to actually go take it. And he wants to be tactical here. He wants to use it to gain an advantage on Adam the best he can. Still choosing to follow into turn 1. We will see coming through turn 2 what they choose to do. And there's our answer, Tom.
Yeah, Adam, I think we all thought then Adam was going for the boost, and he decided not to, which gives it to Teemu Sarkkinen for the lap extra advantage. He needs to be right up behind him, so when Adam does go for the boost, it's going to swap position, because I think Adam needs to go for it this lap. They should have the energy to make it to the end there, so we're going to see.
Yeah,
just hearing... Oh, sorry, you go, Travis.
Go ahead, no, go ahead, Tom.
Just hearing it from race control, as it stands currently, if the positions weren't to change and they were to stay the same, Teemu Sarkkinen would take second in the championship, with Cyril Bousset taking third and then Careless taking fourth. So I think really the battle that needs to happen would be for Careless and Cyril Bousset, but there's too big of a gap there as well.
Yeah, I believe that all sounds right, but it is still open. Careless Machioidis is not over yet. He is about 5 seconds behind Cyril Bousset, so he could reclaim a couple points there. Notably, Teemu Sarkkinen on the attack boost has come back up to Adam Brown. He's within a second, and he has been half throttling around the track. He is conserving energy so well. He's able to catch up. He'll need to use a little bit of this to try to catch Adam, because if Adam gets through the attack boost, I think if Teemu doesn't have this gap closed. Here we go, Adam going through the boost, so Teemu Sarkkinen will try to get through the corner here in the lead, and he doesn't. Teemu Sarkkinen he's done a botched job of the third corner. Adam Brown gets out of the corner with the same gap he went in, so Adam now looking like he's in control. But you can see in the background when we are facing these cars, we'll see Gabber come through. Gabber not over yet. He is on his final attack boost. We'll look in a moment to see how much energy they have left. It's going to be tight to the end of the race. But Adam in control. Here we go. Gabber 12.5%, Teemu 12.5%, Adam 11%. Tom, is he going to make it? It looks tight.
I don't know. I think it's about 5% the lap. So we're coming up to 2 laps to go, and he needs to hold it when we get to the start-finish line. And I don't know if Adam's going to have enough. I think he might have just ever so slightly, but it will be literally on the final lap down the start-finish straight that he actually runs out, if he does. So this is going to be close, and I don't know. I generally, this is going to be exciting.
Yeah, third place, Gabber, gap down to 4.5 seconds on Teemu Sarkkinen. Teemu just coasting for a mile. He was out of the throttle at the start-finish line and still catching Adam. Adam has to conserve so aggressively. And now Teemu right behind him coming into turn 3. Does he send a dive here? No. Forces Adam onto a defensive line. Nice late apex in the power easily. Teemu Sarkkinen looks like he's got a minute and a half less of attack boost, but Adam is going to have to let him go. Adam is out of the throttle. They're side by side into turn 4. If these two come together, it all plays into Gabber's hands. They both have to be smart. They could finish first and second, One of them may not get to be the winner, but if they work together, they can at least cement the top 2 spots. Teemu Sarkkinen thinks better of fighting side by side with Adam, but Adam, just by the language of his driving, it appears that he has realized he is in deep trouble.
Yeah, I think he has as well, but he doesn't want to give it up, which is only going to cost them both. I mean, Gabber now, I think if we look at Gabber, there he is. He's round the corner. He can see them. He can sniff them almost. So he is going to be hard charging. It's only going to egg him on a little bit. And the issue that Teemu Sarkkinen has now, I think Adam's going to come out the throttle a little bit earlier than Teemu Sarkkinen down the straight here, which is where I'd expect Teemu Sarkkinen to come on past, and then he needs to get the car stopped in his normal position. As we're coming on now to start the final lap of the race, lap 21, Adam Brown currently leads, but how long will he make it to the end of the lap? 3% versus 4%. Is it enough power?
This is so close. I don't think he has enough, and Teemu needs to get through now and use Adam as a roadblock. If he is behind Adam when he runs out of energy, then he is toast. Gabber will be right on top of that gap, down to 3 seconds. Teemu now doesn't have attack boost, so Adam can use the extra power, but it's using extra energy. Adam off the throttle so early. Teemu nearly collides with him into the 4th corner. On their way to turn 5, Gabber still a 3-second gap. All Teemu has to do, he just has to wait, but he won't have any way to know that Adam is running out of energy. He might believe that Adam is running out of energy based on how they've raced, but oh, there, Adam's out of the throttle. He's trying so desperately to take a defensive line in a car with no energy, and Teemu now alongside. Teemu has to make this stick if he wants the win. Adam holding the inside. Can he do it? He's going to cut back. Tom,
yes, surely that's it. Surely that's it. But then there's the cutback. It's going to favour Adam. Adam's out of the throttle. He just doesn't have the power. He's had to bail out.
Here we go. Teemu Sarkkinen is through. Adam on. Oh, Teemu parks on the apex. Brilliant defensive driving from Teemu Sarkkinen. Adam Brown has the extra power, but he's only got 5 seconds left, and he's out of energy. Teemu Sarkkinen on the final lap of the race. Brilliant tactical racing. Brilliant racecraft. Wins the race. Gabber comes through. Gabber comes through and takes Adam Brown out of the final corner. Adam relegated to 3rd with no energy remaining. He was so close. 0.5% remaining. Adam may have taken the win, may have held 2nd position, but Gabber, brilliant drive from him to reclaim 2nd after falling down the order on a drive-through penalty. But Teemu Sarkkinen is a winner in E-Challenge in the last round in the feature race of the final round. Brilliant driving from Teemu Sarkkinen. Tom, that was incredible.
It was, and he came out that final corner, did this drive towards the finish line, to the podium there, and on the way to the podium, where he ran out of energy himself. So very tight between the 3 of them. Gabber, I think, had loads of energy, but once again, just got unfortunate really with the penalty he got for causing the collision. If it wasn't for that, it would have been a handy win for him, but a fantastic recovery drive to just be 2 seconds off the win is quite something.
Yes, indeed. Polite gesture from Carlos Matioitis there, helping Adam up onto the podium. No energy remaining for Adam after he crossed the line. That will the result for Teemu Sarkkinen here, winner in the feature race in the final round, will elevate him to 2nd position in the championship. So he will get ahead of Carlos Matioitis. I don't know. We'll need to do the math in the background. We'll get our brightest minds and calculators on that. Cyril Basset may also get ahead of Carlos Matioitis in the championship. We'll have to check and see the numbers there. But congratulations to Teemu Sarkkinen. Brilliant driving from him. Absolute masterclass in racing tactics, in defensive driving, in racecraft to take the win there from Adam Brown. The 2 of them scrapping the whole way. And hats off to Gabber for a recovery after a drive-through penalty set him back only halfway through the race, or halfway through the laps remaining. E-Challenge is always exciting, and though the grid have been small, all of the races this year have delivered, and the final round not least.
Yeah, it's been great. I have to sit there and say I haven't seen the season. I've seen the stats that have popped up, but Gabber has been himself, I think, is the only way I can describe it. He's done a fantastic job closing it out with the whole feature race left to go, and then another fantastic performance in the feature race. And then I think there's been some great performances from other drivers in there. I mean, unfortunate that some of the quicker drivers who have done fantastic in previous seasons haven't been able to have the consistency over the season to challenge Gabba. But overall, I think this season, due to this, the energy feature always puts in a fantastic display for us, and we get to see real close racing, which we got to see again today with Adam there leading on the final lap, leading into the final corner before the car finally gave out the ghost.
Yeah, shame for Adam, but he did put on a brilliant show for us, so we thank him and all of the other drivers for that. We will take a break for just a few seconds. We'll leave the race results there on the screen, take a breather, and invite everyone to join the commentary the commentary box waiting room, the interview waiting room, and any of the drivers who wish to chat with us before we conclude this broadcast, wait for us there, and we'll be back in just a moment. And we are back. We have the feature race winner in the commentary box with us, Teemu Sarkkinen. We said on stream a couple times that you put on a masterclass in racecraft, in tactics, in defensive driving, in conservation, all of the things you have to do to win in E-Challenge. You put on a beautiful demonstration of that today. Congratulations to you.
Thank you. Yeah, that was a close one, right up until the end.
Did you have any sense that Adam was so tight on energy, or did you find out in the last few corners?
I had a hunch for the last 2 laps because he was slowing down much earlier than me.
Yeah, we noticed that the 2 times that he passed you, he went flying by into the first corner, and he was still on throttle for so long. We noticed that you were starting to roll out of the throttle just past the start-finish line. So is that when another driver is coming through that quickly, I assume that you know that they're on throttle and just wasting energy?
Yeah, you can see it from a mile away.
Yeah, I mean, watching you, I think there was 2 or 3 laps in a row where down the start finish you let off at, I think it was about the start finish line actually, and just coasted all the way to turn 1, and Adam came past you on a couple of occasions, and then you got him back through. Talk us through sort of your game plan you had with that.
I just stick to my original plan of lifting off at the start finish line, and luckily I could pass him almost every time when he did that.
We've also got, Teemu, we've got provisional championship standings in the background with the win, and Carlos finishing, I believe he was 4th or 5th position. He was 5th position in the feature race today. That elevates you to 2nd position in the championship, just behind Gabber.
Oh, that's nice.
Nice indeed. Well, Teemu, that concludes this season. Congratulations to you on a win in the feature race. And I hope we see you again in future events. Is there anything else you'd like to share? Anything you'd like to say before you take off?
We have a nice race coming up tomorrow. You might want to check that out.
All right. Well, once again, yeah, Zafiralis. That's Zafiralis Racing coming up tomorrow. Thank you for sharing that with us, Teemu Sarkkinen. Congratulations on the race win once again, and congratulations on 2nd position in the championship.
Thank you.
All right, next up, we have fan favorite and certainly commentary box favorite, Karolis Matriotis, joining us in the box. Karolis, it wasn't your day. Your biggest fan, Tom, plugged you all the way through qualifying, and then it seems like it started to come undone when you lost the qualifying duel, and then you had a difficult day. Talk us through your final round of E-Challenge.
I know Bisset was really fast in the quali, so it's all right. Well, I did one mistake in my quali run, which cost me P1, but like it's okay. Yeah, the sprint race was fine. It was a nice race. But the feature race, so I had a good start. I was catching up to Team Sarkinen, and well, this track might seem wide, but at the start it's not so wide actually. So I was driving behind me, and he lifted up really early. So well, I wasn't expecting that. I was still on full throttle, and yeah, just to not crash into him, I turned to the right. I might have clipped him still a little bit, but I went into the wall. I had a lot of front right damage. I had my toe all wacky, and camber. Well, maybe not negative camber, but sorry, maybe not positive camber, but into neutral camber. So that's not good for left corners. Fortunately, there aren't that many of them, but due to my toe damage, I was essentially getting dragged by the front tires in all of the fast speed zones, fast straights, which there are many in this track. So yeah, I was losing around 1 second every lap, I think, somewhere around that.
And I assume that has an energy impact as well.
Well, yeah, I mean, you do have to stay on the same target, so you either keep the pace but not the target, or you keep the target. Obviously, target is more important. So yeah, 1 second every lap, roughly.
Yeah, unfortunate, but a lot of things have gone right for you this season. We've had smaller grids, but you have featured prominently in them, and you've had some exciting moments, some big highs during the season. Just talk us through, recap your season for us.
Yeah, like really good season overall. Usually I thought I am good at stars, but the last two races went terrible for me. But overall, it's still fun. It's always fun driving the challenge car. I personally like the rear wheel drive more, which I have stated previously already. But yeah, we'll see what the next year brings.
Indeed, we will. We will see what the future holds. Careless, it is always a pleasure to have you join us here in the commentary box. We thank you for your participation and coming in to have a chat. And I hope we do this again soon.
Hopefully, yeah. I'll see you soon.
All right. Thanks, Careless. And we got a couple more coming into the box. We will welcome Cyril Bisset. Cyril, your race looked absolutely brilliant in dual qualifying. You came away with pole position. You yourself seemed stunned, and then it seemed difficult after that. But that had to feel good, taking pole position.
Yeah, absolutely. That was my first ever pole, so really happy with that. Actually, my quali lap itself was not that great. I was more than a second off, but I improved quite a bit during the duels, so really happy with the qualifying.
Yeah, Sarah, I will say I didn't put my faith in you, but you. It seems to be when I'm commentating and I don't put my faith in someone, they tend to prove me incorrect. So I will say well done to you there. That was a really fantastic lap you did. First race, of course, didn't quite go your way, but what was your main sort of thinking in terms of going into the feature race?
Well, since I accidentally left repair zone for the sprint and finished P8, I thought at least I will start to the front of the grid, so that will help. I did have a really good start, and I managed to get to the front of the field literally at T1, so quite nice. And then I just didn't have the pace of either Gabor or Timu, and then even Adam started catching me, and she passed me like it was nothing. So I didn't pay too much mind to this, and I tried to stay on energy target and finish without running out.
Cyril, looking forward. You've done really well in this season of E-Challenge. You've come from further down the grid to find time, to find pace. If I look at your points in previous seasons, like you are improving immensely. What is next in LFS for you?
Well, that depends on what is next in LFS. I don't quite know what the next championships are. I will certainly take part in the next NDR championship, whatever it is. But other than that, I have the endurance series from LFS France, and I see what the future holds.
Fantastic. Well, we do look forward to more endurance racing, and hopefully, if I had any inside information, I would tease a hint here, but I have none. Hopefully, we do see something from New Dimension Racing soon. Everybody is scrambling for GT2 Challenge. You hear that, JP? We want GT2C. Cyril, thank you for joining us in the commentary box once again. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, and I hope we see you again soon.
Thank you. See you.
Thank you. And we've got one more interview. Adam Brown in the commentary box. Adam, it looked like you were just on the right side of getting the energy down that tight, and then you came up ever so slightly short. You almost had it. Talk us through the last few laps of the race.
Yeah, bit of a shame. I sort of thought that I had it all right. I was looking at my average energy use per lap, and it said 4.70, and it needed to be below 4.75. But I was like, I'm golden, I'm good, I'm making it. I sort of forgot a little quirk of LFS is that the first lap doesn't appear on the average calculation. So I obviously used way too much energy on the first lap, and yeah, I just forgot to take that into account, because it's not exactly fresh in my mind. So bit of a shame.
Yeah, it looked like you were doing really strong, and then it was just sort of the slow creeping of the realization started to slowly set in, But yeah, as Pete just mentioned, it was brilliant defending it. It was a fantastic fight that you and the two of you were doing at the front there. Really kept us entertained, and we were willing you along until the car just sort of gave out going around the final corner there.
Yeah, because if I had seen it coming earlier in the race, if I had thought of it earlier in the race, it would have been manageable, I mean, I maybe was missing about 0.5% battery, so it would be close.
Yeah, shame it ended that way, but you still you put on a great performance for us. We enjoyed watching it and commentating on it. So you got pipped at the end by Gabber when you were fully out of energy, which is a shame. But even so, I think you should be happy with just having done such a great performance up to that point. We enjoyed it. We hope you did too.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I'm happy with it. I think Gabor. I'll need to have another look at what caused his penalty, but he was on TeamSpeak. He was adamant that he had done nothing wrong. So that's going to be maybe an interesting issue in the post race.
Yeah, that one I think we'll leave for post. Tom and I will address that one in not in the commentary box, but interesting observation. I agree. All right, Adam, thanks for joining us in the commentary box. Shame you didn't come away with a win, but great performance, a P3 regardless. And a good return to E-Challenge. Thanks for popping into the commentary box.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, that does it for us. The feature race, the final round of the 2025 season is concluded. Great action up and down the entire season. Shame that I wasn't able to participate in the whole thing, and I'm sorry for you, Tom, as well, that other things in life kept us from being in the commentary box together. But this final round. But even so, I've had a blast. I'm glad you were able to join Pete and I in the commentary box today. Round out your thoughts.
I think it's been a fantastic event. The season is always excellent to watch, and I can only regret missing it. But I've had an absolute blast today, and we had excitement from start to finish. Terrible predictions from me, and some fantastic ups and downs all the way through. And just to add on, we got a bit of gonna have a bit of post-race drama with the old appeals probably. So that's always a good bit of fun. But Travis, thank you for having me back, and Pete, thank you for the work you've done behind the scene, and thank you everyone at MRC for getting all this sorted out for us for another season.
And Pete, any thoughts from you as we conclude this final round? I will echo that sentiment on the way out. Thank you both, Pete and Tom, for joining me in the commentary box. Pete, for pulling a lot of weight in commentary this season when Tom and I had other unfortunate circumstances come up. This has been a fantastic season. To Michael Malik and the MRC team for helping organize this series with the New Dimension Racing team. We thank all of you for all of the effort you put in to put on this brilliant series. We have so much fun watching it and covering it. All the drivers who participated, thank you to all of you for joining and making the show for us. There's a team that puts together the competition to make it happen, but you guys are the stars of the show. And for all of you who join us on Twitch, YouTube, the patrons of Sim Broadcast who watch, wouldn't do it without you. So thank you very much for tuning in. For all of you out there, we will see you next time. Thank you very much. Be safe and be well wherever you are. And that's all from us. Goodbye.